I was trying to set up my community in FNF.
Oh, Fred's here. It looks like he can tell us himself.
He got very drunk and screamed at me for 10 minutes.
That is slander, Dream. It was
no, it's not.
It was barely 5 minutes. Go on, man.
It was not. He yelled so many things at me.
Okay.
I guess this is the best time to start streaming.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Go ahead, Fred.
Well, before you get any viewers, Liru, in my defense, I was drinking very heavily with my flatmates. It's already in the triple
digits, but go ahead.
Oh god.
I'm in the doubles.
I'll be doing this later today at like fucking 10 o'clock because I've got an FK game, but I only drank like 2 bottles of wine, and Dream messaged me out of the blue, mind you, just saying, "Hey Fred, I want to be onboarded," and I did the sensible thing and onboarded him.
He called me Ralph.
I gave him all the information he required.
No, he didn't. Okay,
yes,
no, I've got the text messages here. I said, I wish to onboard a community, cringe baby, smiley face. And then he put, Ralph, in all staff channels, someone mentioned something about onboarding a community, but I am way too drunk to recognize what community it is. I'm listening to The Killers right now with the rest of my flat straight vibing. Before he says something to interject there, I'm not called Ralph. No one in FNF is called Ralph. I don't know who Ralph is. I don't know why he called me Ralph. And then he said, "Oh shit, you personally want to onboard with me?"
Okay, alright, okay.
No,
Ralph, okay, listen, Ralph, I'm fairly certain that's an autocorrect, because at that stage, I was on my... I remember this, I was right next to my fucking room right now. I was in the kitchen, heavily drinking, because it was a Sunday, and I literally just got back to my thing.
Look at that picture.
Alright,
18 minutes. It wasn't 10, it was 20. Just about.
That's barely a lie. Anyway, well, I blame autocorrect for calling you Ralph. And then after that, it was just a simple 18-minute chat. As you see, scroll down, I've given you all the relevant links.
He screamed at me.
I gave you the RSVPs for the NA and the EU. I gave you the rules. I gave you the setup guide. I put your fucking logo in the Trello.
He
and then I told you,
screamed at me.
Then I told you to go talk to Manez. Like, what else was I supposed to do?
No, you told me to go talk to Anderson.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, oh, right. Because I typed in chat, apparently A.Manez will message you.
He... Liru. Liru.
I don't have a drinking problem. I'm English. I'm a student. This is
Yes?
Why is Amaranth in the NA multi?
Dream is more drunk than I am.
I'm not drunk. That's just fucking hilarious. Why is that?
So are you telling me someone gave me a fake one?
Someone gave you Amaranth.
What is Amaranth?
Do you not know who Amaranth is?
No.
Titty streamer.
Oh, I've just noticed that.
Alright, well I'm not doing multis anymore. Someone else can do them.
Who did that? You can probably see who sent it if you just look at who pinged you. I bet you it was one of Scandal Recon.
Whoa, hang on 1 second, Dream. How do you know about Amaranth?
I like watching that sort of, not Amaranth particularly, but like people who talk about Amaranth.
Right, yeah, we completely believe you.
She's also got massive booba, and you know, that's kind of cool. Who did the Amaranth then? Liru.
Well, anyway, I'm gonna disappear in like 30 seconds, and basically however long it takes for Anderson to do the briefing. So, any last questions you want to ask me, Dream?
Please stay away from me.
Yeah, that's what. Oh my god, that's what made me go.
He made me feel like actually like upset, like vulnerable.
Ow.
I felt scared. Okay, leave, Fred.
If you're scared by drunk Fred, you deserve to be scared. Like honestly.
They didn't hear.
Like, if you're scared of incoherent nonsense, like SMH, my dude, just SMH.
Oh, get out. Just leave.
Okay,
Leave.
Right. Later, guys. Subscribe to FK Fred on YouTube. Oh wait, no, I'm somewhat Fred. I think. I can't actually remember what. Subscribe to FK Fred on Twitch. Bye.
Just drinking my tea here.
Actually, never mind. Anderson is still talking about the briefing. I can't interrupt.
What? Okay. What?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you, Dream and Fred. I can't believe you just had that conversation in front of our two guests.
Sorry, I needed to defend myself.
We've seen worse.
I bet you have, but
Fred, can you change the password to
Jesus
something and then
Christ.
PM Barb with it?
Sure.
Jesus Christ.
What? You've had weird...
Where
Not
is
in front
Bob?
of
Where
guests,
is
not
Bob?
while we're streaming. Like what?
He's literally above us. Wait, Fred, no! Wait, what conversation? The fact that he was drunk and he was saying... weird things.
Alright, anyway, Dream.
Can you move Barb down here, please? Can you move Barb down here? There we
I'll
go.
move them. Well, anyway, check the chat for the new password. Barbarian, I changed the password to this room. Because Dream asked me to.
Okay.
Scene.
I'm so... Like, okay, I am sorry to both our guests for that, but, you know, Fred joined and started lying.
Okay,
I don't have any passwords right now.
it's okay.
Oh,
I-
wait a second.
I can't get on the server either because the password that Dreamset is telling me is wrong.
Oh, you mean the
But-
server?
I mean both.
Well, I sent you the one for the room.
Yes.
I put in the server
Yeah.
password. Don't worry.
Anyway,
Also,
the mission has
fun fact.
started, so can I
Mission is
get started?
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
it's my
it's going
job to get started.
Okay.
later, nudes.
Okay, leave Fred. Okay, anyway, sorry everyone. Barb, you're joining.
Leave admin.
Hey, I used to be that. Sorry. Anyway, yes.
Used to.
Yeah. Background: the Battle of Caisson. Oh yeah, this is the Battle of Caisson for anyone who doesn't know. So the Battle of Caisson, 21st of January to the 9th of July 1968, was conducted in the Caisson area of northwestern Kun Tur.
Quang Tri.
Kung Tri.
Yeah, that is Quang Tri.
Quang Tri. Okay. Province. Republic of Vietnam, South Vietnam, during the Vietnam War. The fall of Lang Vây occurred on the 7th of February 1968 when tanks of the PAVN's 203rd Armored Regiment, supported by the infantry of the 7th Battalion, 66th Regiment and 4th Battalion, 24th Regiment of the 304th Division, assaulted the camp. Jesus. Area of operations. There are some pre-placed defenses for defenders on the map. The AO is split by a large river. A bridge crossing has been added downstream for attackers. Notes: Blue 4 have been giving a tow missile with 4 rockets. The tow is hard spawned on the map and can be moved during safe start. Op 4 has been giving 2 light tanks with limited HE. Please note, the vehicles/equipment allocated to each squad at the start screen. Data terminals have been replaced by Vietnam-era American radios. Mission rules: swimming is allowed.
It's kind of cool.
The game mode is a terminal, it's uplink, so it is a 90-second hack time with 3 terminals. Mission variables, just the normal stuff, maximum view distance of 900 meters. Okay, and I will do Blue 4's loadout.
Real quick, I want to note for this round, first one we've seen over the night, the RPGs, the B-41s are only being given 1 round, not 3. Go ahead for uniforms.
Okay. Blue 4 will be wearing the Vietnam-era US Army SOG kit. Their loadout will consist of XM-177s, M14s, trench guns, and an M1911. Supports will have the M63A Commando with an M60 Shorty.
Baby.
LAT having the M72 Law, Recon having the M40 Sniper Rifle Camo, M45 Submachine Gun for the silence, or with another choice of an M3A1 Grease Gun, and Crew and Aviation will also have the Grease Gun. as for their assets, they have one BGM 71 tow launcher, as mentioned in the brief. An M2 HV 50 cal static, another 1919
rounds for
30 cal static, both high.
500 rounds.
An M15 1A1 Patrol Vic with a 30 cal on top, and an M51 gun truck with the minigun on the back.
So just important things to add, the patrol variant has the 50 cal and a forward 30 cal, and then the gun truck has two side-mounted M60s, and the M134 minigun is mounted on the rear with 2,000 rounds. Otherwise, Op 4. For us, it would be called the NVA. If we were in Vietnam, they would call themselves the PAVN. Learned that last round, and hopefully I'll remember it this time. Regardless, they are dressed up in what appears to be pith helmets and some olive, if not slightly tannish camo. Assets, they have the two Type 63 tanks. They said they had reduced HE capacity. Going over what they specifically have, they have 4 HE frag rounds, 2 high explosive anti-tank rounds, 2 armor-piercing rounds, 1 HVAP round, funny enough, and 1 Willie Pete round. And then they've only got 2 50-round boxes for the command disc up top, and then 2 250-round coax boxes for, I believe it would be a 7.62 coax mounted on the tank gun. And then a BTR 40 with a Dishka, 8 mags of 50 rounds, so enough there. Otherwise, they're going to be on foot for this one. Now, 3 terminal sites. One is way over the river to the east in just some obscure bunker. What is kind of nice about it is it's a lot of open area to get towards it. Maybe we could see some defensive lines put down from across the bank to try to lock that area down. But otherwise, I doubt Blue 4 is going to actually try to hunker that position down specifically, whereas Terminal 2 and 3 are actually along the military base here. So, I don't know what Blue 4 is planning, but what are your thoughts on it, Dream?
I think, honestly, if it's anything to go by FNF, because swimming is actually allowed, I doubt they will actually, focus on Terminal 1. I don't think they're going to touch that. They might send a single squad, maybe an X-ray, who will act as a forward observer, but I think Terminal 2 and 3 are going to be their mainstays because it's just a really, really nice area. And, you just have this long stretch of land.
Send the total gun. Thanks for the 10-month resub. Hope you enjoy the operations. Hope you get a nice kick
the
out
good thing about the other good thing about this position is that you can actually see the bridge, meaning because obviously the Type 63s are not submersible.
They are.
Oh, they are.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, no, there's. Oh yeah, okay. Well, there you go.
Well, even though you wouldn't want to do that because it's a tow launcher.
Yeah, even then, it's going to be dangerous to go across the river or go across a bridge. So I can see the tank being pushed down just the further northwestern side,
yes.
Instead of going anywhere near that bridge. So if I'm honest, Terminal 1 will be abandoned, bar a few guys, and then they're going to just hold this line because it's just a really nice area. The lighting will make it a little bit difficult, but I think they've just got a really nice line of sight.
I mean, across the water towards the west from the objective, you also have a few bunkers and towers. You could set up the 30 cal or 50 cal in just to kind of suppress that area as Op 4 moves in to take the terminal. So it would be possible to turn it to a kill zone, but at this range, I doubt they're going to hit anything. But if we have any engineers for Blue 4 taking the explosives, this would be a really nice area to set some explosives up to slow down any Op 4 guys trying to move in to make that into a nice kill zone. I think that'd be pretty good.
So yeah, so another interesting thing is where they're actually going to place this tow launcher, because it obviously can be moved.
Thanks for the
Are they going to place it so it's overwatching the bridge, or are they going to place it further back so they can watch their flanks?
Hope you get a nice kick
It
out
only has 4 rounds, but it is wire guided, so you're just going to be very, very careful with your shots and make sure what you're hitting is going to land. Because a tow launcher, because a tow launcher should be able to take the Type 63 down in at least one hit, one like maybe engine hit, rear hit. Maybe it won't take it on the front hit, but it will definitely.
No, it will.
It'll definitely deactivate it.
It will kill a light tank like that. One hit. It's a very powerful missile. You could take out a T4 with tow, no problem.
The only problem is obviously if you put it in a position where it's going to see that bridge, it might show up to the Type 63s. and one shell from HE will just decimate it.
Yeah, but what are the odds that the tank's going to be able to spot the small toe somewhere
True.
hidden compared
Well,
to the tank being spotted first?
I guess if it fires
all
and
right,
the other tank
Squishy.
can see,
I
but I
get it.
guess if it's firing, then it's already, you know, locked in on its target. So
I don't know. For this AO, I think Op4's biggest hurdle is getting to Terminal 1. I could see Blue 4 also abandoning Terminal 1 and trying to rush over to that small bridge just to hold the bridges themselves, but the fact that those tanks are amphibious does allow for a few options for Op4 to cross.
So an interesting thing here is it was stated in the brief. If you look to the southeast of Terminal 1, you'll find a very, very small rickety bridge that allows for travel across the water.
If you look on the northern bank, left of that tall tree, you can see on the left side the lever to control the bridge.
Oh no. Well, I mean, they'll only be falling into the water, which I guess isn't that bad this time.
It's filled with piranhas.
Oh god, no.
Even though piranhas are only in South America.
They're
We got
just
some
here
just
now.
for FNF.
Yeah. Pretty penny. But yeah, if Op4 really wanted to you know, obviously we're in the sky and we can see where Blue 4 are placing their units now, but honestly, I think both I think the Red 4 command, who's Depso, who I know he's commanded quite a few times, I think he's like reasonable enough to come to recognize that good chance.
Squishy.
The Terminal 1 will not be watched. It'll be watched from afar, but it won't be like, you know, in play. So he might just send his X-ray squad up to get it, which I think would be the best squad to send.
I do agree with that, but let's take our remaining 5 minutes to reintroduce our guests for tonight. I think that because we separated the streams, because there's always a break between EU and NA, let's go ahead and have them introduce themselves.
Yeah, sure. So I'm Egg Beast, and I'm basically the project coordinator for the Sog Prairie Fire DLC, and I've been a modder in ARM about 15 years or something. 10 years, maybe 12 years. I don't know.
He's lost
Too
count.
long. Too long. Yeah. Big fan of Vietnam war history, and worked on the Unsung mod for 7 years, and now managing the DLC team for the last 3 years. Having a lot of fun with it. If I sound a bit jaded, it's because it's 1:30 in the morning. I'm going to be with you guys till 4 in the morning. So I'll try not to nod off in the background, but I'll be happy to answer questions, and also, you know, comment on the terrain and the tactics and all the stuff in terms of the real life situation.
Of course.
Oh, it's a pleasure to have you in.
I'm not sure if Ken's still with us.
It's still here.
Oh,
There he is.
There we are.
Well, if you'd like to reintroduce yourself to anyone who may have not been able to make it for the EU stream.
Right, thank you. Yeah, Ken Bowray was a 1-0 at Command and Control North, RT Idaho, RT Sidewinder, and follow-on service in Cambodia with one of the programs, and finished up a few years later as Commanding General of U.S. Army Special Forces, and later retired as Major General.
So we got a stacked casting team tonight.
and then became famous by making the Sog Prairie Fire DLC with us.
Well, once again, I thank both of you for joining us tonight.
And for anyone and for anyone who doesn't know, sorry, meeting. Tonight, this stream is, you know, FNF is partnered. FNF and SOG are partnered with MVG. I mean, you're better off explaining this one if you want to. What
Sure.
they do.
Yeah. So we're basically fundraising at the, in this event, which is going to run till 7 p.m. Eastern or midnight UK time tomorrow. So it's like a whole weekend of fundraising fun. And the idea is to generate more funds to put into veteran support. And that's delivered by another former 1-0 from Mackley Sog, Dick Thompson, who's a legend in his own right, who has a book coming out this year as well, which should be fantastic to read. Basically, Dick's delivering a stress resilience system to veterans directly with the help and support of the Military and Veteran Gamers charity, and MVG have a Discord where veterans can go and they can get peer-to-peer support, and you know, and they do a lot of like gaming groups together and events, charity fundraising to support veterans. They provide computers to members so that they can get on and game with their friends, and they do a lot of really supportive peer-to-peer work, you know, to keep people who've left the military or still serving in the military, you know, keep their spirits up. You know, they have a buddy network and that kind of thing. And then with Dick's system, adding in on top of his stress resilience system, it's about sort of, you know, beefing up people's capability to cope with the stresses of life, and especially the post-military world, post-deployment world. So very important piece of work to do, and that's why General's here with us and why we're here till 4 in the morning supporting as well. You know, so there is a donation link, and we're really keen to try and hit our target of $10,000.
For you guys, it's in the exclamation point mission command.
So a really quick thing is we are actually at $3,466 thanks to Ken, actually, who just recently donated $200. So
thank you, Ken.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ken.
2,200, so we've jumped a lot. Did we break that final barrier before the start of FNF?
Yes.
Yes, we broke 3K before the end of EU, and we broke the final barrier before FNF.
It's going to be exciting to wake up in the morning like Christmas to see where we've got to.
I literally said just when Liru, you had gone by this point, and me and Rob were talking. It was like I said, it's like, well, the NA target is 3,500, and now we are $34 off that. So you know.
So we'll be playing for 12 hours tomorrow, and Ken will be in with us playing.
Oh Lord, yeah.
Yeah, we're in a boat.
Yeah, I was telling Whiplash, I think the longest up I've ever been in was about 4 hours. So this is going to be a treat.
Also, to anyone who's thinking about donating, some little things to push you over the edge. If you donate $10, you'll be in with a chance to win a signed. I keep forgetting the name, but it's sort of a signed
RT Idaho.
RT Idaho sort of frame thing. Sorry, I'm losing myself.
Team plaque, I suppose.
Team plaque. There you go. Yeah, there you go. A signed team plaque. $10, and you're in a chance to win that. And if you donate $20, and if the 10K target is hit, you will be in for a chance to win a very, very, very cool looking and powerful PC.
Which is also signed by Ken and Dick Thompson and John Striker Meyer.
Aye.
3 fantastically, you know, heroic, legendary SOG 10 recon team leaders who've supported the charity work and the game development.
So yeah, you have nothing to lose by donating if you have a couple extra dollars.
We all want it.
I want it.
So whoever gets it is going to have the most Gucci PC, you know, in the armor world.
Yeah. But anyway, back to the round.
Real quick, I gotta bring up one thing because a few people in chat asked. There was a goal for $1,000 to remove Iander's rockets for FNF. 1,005. My bad. They broke that goal, so Iander is forbidden from picking up an AT launcher throughout the entire event.
I don't think he's here tonight, unfortunately.
He was here for EU, but is he not here for NA?
No, I don't think he's here for NA.
I think, like me, he must have passed out by drinking too much.
That would be an Iander thing to do, but that was at least the thing in the EU batch, so.
Why is the blue square still there, but we've apparently started?
I don't know. We were having some weird issues with round 2 for EU where it wasn't putting them back in safe start.
Yeah, people could just leave.
I think the map's just glitching out slightly. Go ahead, sorry.
The MVA attacking from the east, so of course in the real battle they came from the north, I think, the northwest, because that's where Laos is, up that way. And they kind of rolled over the top of Langbei Special Forces camp, which is what you can see there, which is deployed from the northeast to the southwest, the blue square. and it was actually defended by M72 Laws and initially, which I think may have stopped 1 or 2 tanks, but then there were too many and they overwhelmed the site. Which was, and some guys actually held out in one of the bunkers and they were driving tanks on top of the bunker trying to collapse it on the guys. And dropping CS gas down through the air vent into the bunker. So the poor guys inside were getting absolutely hammered with gas, and tank trying to collapse the bunker.
Wow.
They eventually cobbled together a special forces relief team, I think, which went in and basically booted the NVA out of there and took camp back. But there was a lot of casualties.
First contact there, Skipper catching out Aussie Wookie and his battle buddy. I don't think Aussie's gonna get out either.
No. So an interesting thing for done here, instead of actually actively defending Terminal 1, they've decided to put up a blocking force with Charlie instead to block the advance, because while Alpha are crossing the bridge, probably to go and support the assault from the other side, Red 4 probably thought they could just walk up on it. So I think it's a pretty nice idea. Is that X-Ray dead though? No, 2 of X-Ray are dead. The rest of them are running around.
Those are the tanks? Yeah, the tanks are fording.
Yep, they're trying to cross the river.
Oh, they're very slow though.
This is where you hope armor physics continues to work.
Yeah.
Continues. You imply that it works in the first place.
I'm not liable for any accidents that happen with this tank.
Don't worry, if any vehicle accidents happen, they'll restart the round, right, Liru?
Oh, right, Dream?
Guys.
Like last Vietnam.
Guys. Cyrus
there it goes.
Guys, Cyrus is dead.
The driver figured out what buttons do what, and now it's speeding across that river.
Oh, look at it.
Wow.
Guys, Cyrus
why did
is
Cyrus
dead.
die?
I don't know, he just died.
What did they do to him?
Does he have a pulmonary embolism? From
there's a
stress.
knocked over stoner nearby, but I don't know. Something hit him. Yeah, there's a
He
blood
just took his gun.
stain. Yep, I would take that too.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'd take
stoners
that
are
gun.
awesome.
Why is he dead?
I
Do they
don't
have
know why.
respawn?
This is
No.
one life again,
No,
so
yeah,
it's
one life.
One life event. Wow.
So the third round of EU, because Barb obviously wasn't here, wasn't one life. It was multiple life. It was a sustained assault.
Yep.
How's Tank 2 doing? Is it across as well?
It is trying.
It's my guys.
Oh, there we go.
They're signed up as my community tonight.
Yeah, Gur is going to be our 4th on the boat, by the way, Dream.
Yeah, I know.
Gur?
I saw. Yeah, I remember Go. I saw.
Yeah.
It's going to be a nice crew tomorrow.
It
I'm
is
excited.
going. This is going. We're going to make so many songs. Yeah.
Traveling
How
Vietnam
many-
river band.
How many sleepless nights we had to get this thing to actually ford rivers properly? So I'm really pleased to see it performing tonight.
That's good to see.
It looks so simple, but it took.
It never is. It really never
Yeah,
is.
the genius of Apollo, who's our lead vehicle encoder, he's so good at this stuff. Make it
Oh.
work.
I'll be honest, I thought you were going to make a Greek joke there.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
well, he is a godlike character. Yeah.
Yeah, Barb. I don't know if you saw. You know, Spoody from Millennial Hideout. No, Spoody. Am I saying the name right?
Ken.
Yeah.
Spoody. Yeah, they played their first game tonight and got a kill, and vastly outperformed 90% of first timers in FNF. It's great, and I always like seeing new people come in, especially when they're part of my community.
Ken, do you know much about the history of the battle on the Langvay Special Forces camp?
I do have some, and Rob, what I will send you is a declassified after-action report. Probably try to get that out to you Monday, which will go into the specifics. It's the actual report.
Brilliant, thank you.
That'd be really nice to read.
Interesting to read.
Right,
We're okay to share that, I guess.
right. It is.
It's unclassified.
Yep.
Brilliant, thank you.
That's
Right.
awesome. Thank you very much.
So really interesting attack here from Red 4. They've taken no vehicles and have opted just for a full ground movement to keep himself. Yeah, infantry.
Only...
Just trying to stay as quiet. And if they are able to pull up all the way to the end of the tree line where the trees sort of break off and start becoming dead trees, you know, they'll have a really nice firing line.
Ladderfell just flipped their, one of the tanks down the south.
Is it flipped or flip back and then flip over?
It's on its side, pretty solidly on its side.
Wedged in a tree texture. I think they could unflip it, but
yeah, there is an unflipping thing. This is about to be very dangerous, though.
Yeah, they need to get everyone really far away from that tank.
I swear to God,
they're gonna go for it.
If my community die by tank death,
by tank flip.
So those vines on that tree are probably the most hated piece of foliage in the whole of Ireland.
Yeah, yeah.
We actually improved the fire geometry on those vines so you can shoot around them without but still, you know, if you try and squeeze a bit through that gap, you usually die.
Do you remember the last Vietnam where they did that the boat assault where they had to drive the tanks and the boats off the little platform someone just built in the middle of the sea and it went horribly wrong? And do you remember the vines?
That was Guadalcanal op, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they kept and at some point they drove one of the tanks or one of the bigger Vics. I don't know if it was a tank or if it was a gun truck. They flipped a tank.
It was an amphibious tank with the two 30 cal guns.
Yeah, and then they drove one. Then they unflipped it and then drove one in between two vines and exploded.
Yep, I remember that.
That's why you don't drive tracked vehicles through the jungle, or any vehicles that are big through a jungle.
Here's the one issue, though. I'm sitting over the Terminal 3 site right now. I can hear the engine of Gamma 1 right now from all the way over here. So Blue 4 is going to know that armor is coming up this route.
Yeah, it looks like everyone down there at Terminal 3 is already starting to look south pretty,
but
decisively.
If you, obviously, because we're in the sky and we can see a lot of it, this is going to be perfect for Red 4, whose bulk force is on their north.
Keep an eye.
Fighting at the bridge. I just saw close proximity red and blue on the Liru screen.
Yeah, they're not far from each other. Red 4 are about to get the terminal and go right under Blue 4's noses because the Red 4 forces just completely, sweep by them.
Yep.
So this might work again in Red 4's favor because Blue 4, addition to the tank, might think that the assault's coming on the southern side.
Well, it's going to be all about timing, I think, in the long run. Just when things happen to coincide.
Can't see much chance of getting across that bridge on foot. It's way too open, slow.
There you go. Now you'll see Charlie 1 trying to get eyes on and maneuver.
Yeah, Nato might be one of the first casualties if he sticks around there.
So one thing Go ahead.
Well, there's nobody watching the bridge right now, Blue 4, that I can see. There's a small detachment to the right side somewhere on the bank, or not?
Yeah, you've got Charlie HQ and Charlie 2 and Charlie 1 who are the closest force, and they were meant to act as a blocking force in case anything came from the north. But obviously, now that they know it's been hacked, they're going to think something's coming from the south.
And that's going to quite far back from the river. They're not using it as a bottleneck. The bridge.
They instead stayed on the northern side, I guess, not thinking that Op 4 is going to cross around. They've got Blue 4 X-Ray now going over the small bridge, trying to check things out. And then we had Arcor and someone else on the southern side. I wanted to bring this up earlier. Arcor is a log gunner. So he could take out one of these tanks if they try to cross. He just needs to wait for the right moment. The issue is there's going to be 2 tanks down there, and he only has 1 tube.
Yeah, but taking out 1 is better than the other. And considering I think most of them have forces in. If he can get the hit early, he'll get a few kills in addition.
The law does work pretty well.
Because he'll see the guy sitting on the back, because obviously it's not an internal passenger thing.
Those tanks are running out of cross room. All Arcor needs to do is just wait till he hears the tanks on water, and then he can poke his head out, get his easy shot, move on.
Nice Terminal 1 gone.
To be honest, I wouldn't risk a shot at the thing in the water. There's a really high chance because half the hull is submerged. I'd wait till it hits the riverbank when it's going slowly up the slope on the other side, and hit it in the side at that point.
Well, if he hits it while it's going down, he has a much better chance of hitting it in the engine.
Looks like Arcor is wanting to be a hero. He's got one times law on his back, but he's got 2 Vietnamese tanks to deal with over here on the other side of this river.
Strangle you.
But he is going hunting for them. He definitely wants to investigate where they're going.
He's tracking by sound, I'm guessing.
Those engines are loud.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
The problem for Arcor here arises when if they do continue to just push around to the northwest and go all the way around and decide to come in from the most western road, just next to Hill 53. I mean, that works badly in the short term, but then obviously Arcor could just move onto the road and actually get a much better shot. But
And they have troops on the back of the tanks, right? They're not just solo.
Yes.
Yeah. Good, yeah. They've learned something from the Panzer Grenadiers then, because you don't ever want to send armor on its own without infantry.
And J-Law has been abandoned.
I think he dismounted. Now he's moving on foot.
I think he got out to try and help the driver, but then the driver figured it out.
Is Arcor going to go for a swim? And there comes Golf.
I wouldn't be super surprised. Arcor is
there they
one
go.
less player.
I thought they were about to go for a full rush over the... Oh, they are.
It's just hiding in the grass, hoping to catch the tank.
Now, if Arcor needs to, use his ears and figure out that,
They're in the water right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's going to be hard for him to distinguish the fact that it's where its exact position is.
If you're close to the tank, you can hear when it's in the water, but its engine noise is being drowned out by the other tank that's out of the water right now. But he is starting to move.
We hit 3,500.
Nice.
Nice.
Thank you, everyone.
Still got, what would that be, 5,500 to go?
No, Bob.
65.
I can't do numbers.
It's okay.
Ken, what do you think of these tanks moving around this back?
They're going to be vulnerable when they come out, as Rob said. I think the shots will be better. Just depends on where Blue is right up here to engage.
Where's the tow launcher?
Yeah, so Arcor...
They're very thin-skinned light tanks, aren't they? Type 63, PT-76 type tanks.
Yeah, PT-76, right? It's very light.
Yeah.
50 cal can go through them like butter.
Yeah, the only problem here is now Arcor, I think, is realizing that they're now behind him, which works decently in his favor.
I don't know where the tow launcher is.
But it's still going to be an issue of avoiding the squads.
Right.
It's a very open terrain coming up to the camp, and that there's a lot of chance if you've got doors in the camp. As soon as you see those tanks, you take them out. That is what happened, I think, in battle. Was a few tanks were taken out with laws.
So,
and
honestly,
I think they were the early versions of the laws, like the ones we've modelled actually. With the when you take the end caps off, it just falls apart. You can't put it back on very easily. It's not like the later ones where it's all on a hinge.
So Depso has just had like a stroke of genius and probably a little bit of luck, because they've just completely... I think Bluefor weren't set up, well enough in order to cover for anything that might come on the wings, because they've kept their cards so close to home, and really only sent out one squad, who's now coming to realize, I think, that they may have been duped.
Yeah, I think Bluefor was expecting a more direct approach with those tanks, but OPFOR, utilizing their amphibious capabilities, has been able to circumvent Bluefor's plan. So now Bluefor has to completely fold onto the terminals themselves. So any chance at stalling for the clock is not going to work. And usually if the defenders can't stall for time, the attackers, I want to say more often than not, win than lose in that scenario.
So I've found the law. It's next to Whiplash, and it's actually in a perfect position for the oncoming tanks.
Blue on blue.
Yeah, the tow
launcher. So that's slightly anachronistic as well, because they weren't in Vietnam until 1972. but they were responsible for tank kills against the Pavan used by the Arven 72 onwards. But that's fine. We're all happy with it.
A little bit of creative liberty, I suppose.
Yeah, all they had was these early laws, and the very early versions, they some of them actually just bounced off the tanks, so or failed to to follow the right trajectory.
To be fair, in EU round 1 we had Ho Chi Minh dice.
That's true. The war's already over.
Yeah.
Though generals, yeah.
That would have been easy, wouldn't it have been?
So Arcor's in a unique position to actually snipe one of these tanks. They're pulling back, but he's still just sitting there.
Interesting that they're making that call, because I actually played a mission on the ground the other week, right in this area, and assaulted this base.
Arcor's making a move.
Oh.
Honestly, if I was this tank, I'd just hug the water and then go and see if I could take my chances going up the hill.
Well, they should be completely confident because they didn't take any kind of fire when they first crossed it, so they shouldn't really be worrying about it much at all.
Is he literally going back?
I think he's repositioning so he can support from a different direction, or maybe he is heading down the stream.
They're gonna cross right in front of Arcor. He's getting the AT out.
But Egg's not wrong. The water can be such an annoying thing in armor, and it could end up just completely screwing the shot.
He's going to have to take over a turret strike, and then that because it's rounded, armor does actually model that and simulate it, so there's a chance you can deflect the law straight off the side. But
yeah, where the rocket ricochets off of it.
Rickety-rockety rick.
But he's a very close
He's going for it.
Oh, he's got it.
There it is.
Right in the side that was
sunk it.
They would normally. Oh, Reapers decided to
The tank's tipping over.
I like how it's cooking off in the water.
It is on fire in the water.
Yeah, that's
one tank gone.
I do think that was crazy. Once they were across the water, they should have massed with the troops.
Yeah.
Ooh.
They have so much less mobility in the water. It is a vulnerable spot to be in. It's not a position of power that they should maintain.
And Arcor had literally sat camping in that bush the whole time, and then they just delivered him a prize on a velvet cushion.
Just waited for a shot.
Friendly firing Pronix from about 50 meters. I guess he can recognize the Tiger Stripe.
Oh, shots are going over the minigun. Lasering. It was brute.
I think that's
Guns a Go-Go.
Not
very nice. Well, actually, no, sorry, the Guns a Go-Go was the Chinook. Excuse me.
Yeah.
You've got Don here in his own little bunker, watching the northwest and western side.
I'm surprised he's not on the minigun. He does like
me too.
Machine guns.
Reapers is still alive in the tank.
Oh, and the bunker's actually got the
have a
M14.
shotgun?
Was it actually kind of regarded as too heavy by most of the forces? Was that is that the accurate assumption about them?
No, it's accurate, and it was very solid and still is. It's a very good rifle.
That's what I figured, but there's so many anecdotal stories that just circulate.
Yeah, no, you can engage long-range targets. You've got a 7.62 NATO round and a lot of power, so no, it's excellent. And that developed into our M21 sniper rifle.
I think in the early war they discovered that the wood warped a lot, came away from the metal housings, the receiver, and so they, of course the ultimate thing was to make the thing out of polymer.
Right, you had those, polymer plastic stocks, which, then came into being, and they're still out there,
Got to give a shout out to Space Cowboy Carl on the north side at Terminal 2. He's launching GLs 400 plus meters behind enemy cover. And if they had to move back as soon as they took fire, they would have been shelled with 40 mil, with really impressive accuracy.
I think Blue 4 have come to realize how like the issue that's now arising with the fact that they now realize they've got attacks on pretty much every single side. But that tank kill is going to be huge. It may even shape the rest of this game.
Well, I know you guys said earlier, historically they attacked from the northwest, and now you're watching Op 4, Delta, and Charlie starting to maneuver to attack from the northwest, so...
Oh, Whiplash taking out the tank.
Ooh,
that is the tow launcher. Oh, yeah, well, there you go.
What was that with?
That's a tow launcher.
Oh, I wish I'd
Whiplash did it. I got a pretty nice shot of it
I missed that.
on mine. I got a pretty nice shot of it on mine.
About 500 meters with that tow, yeah.
I was Whiplash. No, I think that was the backblast that just annihilated him.
Where did he backblast on, though? There's nothing behind him for the gas to go.
It might have just been the fuel, like the hill, and it might have just bounced back up. I know it can be a bit stingy. Because I didn't see him get shot at.
I have to say it's the best tow model I've ever seen in the game. Julia made it for us. She's just a great artist.
Well, now you have 3 rounds of certified person murderer left for that.
I guess he's jumped off it because everyone knows where he is.
I mean, not a bad idea.
Someone's got to get that. Yeah, someone's got to get that minigun roaring.
Looks like he's already taking fire. There's a lot of blood right beneath that tow launcher. Another one going out.
Technically, they don't need the tow launcher anymore. They've got no bunkers or hard points to strike, and all the tanks are down. So
yeah, but it will do a lot of damage to a squad who's in cover.
Plus, you're assuming that Whiplash knows that both tanks are down. Arcor taking down that one over on the Cape, so to say. That information may not have been passed back to Whiplash.
I'm surprised Don hasn't decided to just go and take this minigun for himself.
So it's not watch him.
Yeah.
The round is young.
I hope he does.
Historically correct, it is a recoilless rifle at this point, which of course would give them HE rounds to use and frag rounds to use against the
Oh, look at Arcor, he's doing it.
But you don't have one.
Soft butter for you.
Only an option.
Hey, Gorge, yeah, thanks for the 38-month
Michael's
resub. Hope
hiding
you keep
in the
enjoying the
reeds.
operations. Hope you get a nice kick out of this scenario.
Falcon crossing. I went underwater and Falcon looks like
I know, veteran.
the meme with the monkey swimming.
We're assuming he got shot, but could have been in the back class too. You never know. But yeah, for Ace especially.
Attack, they would actually take the 105 howitzers and lower them down and just fire a point.
Direct fire.
Yeah.
Direct fire is the best kind of fire.
Yeah, with the beehive round.
Damn.
Beehive, is that
would
similar
clear
to
it.
canister shot?
Yeah, it's basically a whole bunch of small flechettes.
Well, I think you can, guarantee that would take out an enemy position.
Yeah.
And as Jim Shaw 10 said when he was in the A camp, he was a demo guy, so he would go out and put little booby traps all around the perimeter where he knew the NBA would try to, where the cover positions were. And he'd sit there and he had a load of nails with wire going to them. All he had to do was touch the activating wire to each of the nails, and they were all numbered. And he knew the perimeter. Every time the NBA attacked his camp, he touched each nail and det on whoever was in that location.
Just hear a nice boom in the distance.
Someone's getting some really nice shots on Chewie, and Whiplash took down someone next to them. It was Hells. On the MVG guys.
Hearing that about the direct fire with flechettes just makes me think of like Napoleonic warfare, where the cannons and grape shot just would take out scores of men in one blast. And I could see the same thing happening in the jungle.
Did they use that in the Civil War as well?
Oh, they did.
Yes.
It was canister. Yeah, a little 1-inch shot.
I guess the battlefield
And Napoleonic,
covered
too.
in that.
The one seen from Tormagon.
They used to have a chain shot, but that's more for Navy, isn't it? When you're trying to take someone's rigging down.
Yeah, take the rigging down, everything.
So we're looking at Falcon.
Hey, Righto
on
Jerkers, thanks for
Riverbank.
the
He's got
6-month
brass mounted
resub.
K50 with the drum mag. That's a default.
Keep enjoying the ops. Hope you get a nice kick out of this scenario.
I'm watching Don at the moment. He's just been shot at in his little bunker and he's hit the ground.
Leclerc now is returning fire with an M60. Glad to see they're getting some action.
Oh, Night Owl's about to walk up straight onto our core. I wonder if Night Owl sees him.
Did Arcor just look away at the last second?
Yep.
No. No.
Beautiful.
That happened.
I think, no way, please tell me that did what I just think it did, thought it did.
Nice try.
Falcon threw a grenade, but obviously when you throw a grenade in the water, the little red thing
The symbol disappears, so you don't know where it lands.
And I thought he threw it and it hit like a tree or just dropped in the water and next to his feet.
Yeah, Falcon's suspicious. He's moving to this elephant grass.
Falcon went right into the elephant grass as Arcor came out. Oh.
Ooh.
Oh.
Falcon found him.
I swear I just watched Arcor die and then wake back up. Like I watched his thing disappear and then just come back. Oh, you have Greg here. Probably upset that he lost his tank.
Alright, Arcor was double tapped but not executed. Falcon is still trying and I guess missing.
Makes sense. He gets him KO'd but can't finish the job when he's standing still.
So what's what do we think the strategy is here right now? Is Op4 attacking both ends of the camp at the same time in a coordinated?
Yeah, they're trying to, as a mass force, I think they're trying to push both sides and squeeze them. But Blue 4 have been putting up a really nice defense, but it's wavering on the western side now.
I think Op4 is just trying to find where Blue 4 is weakest so they can push in through that area and then flank the remaining defensive positions.
They need to try and pop some smoke to advance and clear that open ground.
Ooh,
That's
look
their
at
best
Greg.
chance right now.
Yeah, Greg is right on
Greg's
top
got
of these
that.
positions.
What gun has he got? He's got the
K50.
yeah, K50, which would be going to be deadly at this, like, you know. Greg's just, he's trying to find a way through and he's about to find it. He's about to find the split in the barbed wire.
This is actually like real tactics here, because this is what the sappers would do, is creep up to the wire in the minefield, put Bangalore's through the wire, but once the wire comes to get through.
Actually have Hezaya using the rifle grenades on the Moss rifle. Hitting pretty close, but just short of the Blue 4 defenses here on the southern side. We do have a nice squad of them pushing up to the south of it. This is what we did in that ground mission a couple weeks ago that I mentioned, pushing up the south side and getting up close as close as we can to the perimeter.
We also have Falcon, who's joined Greg very close up.
So Vance, the Op4 marksman, he just sniped the guy next to Parkham. I'm trying to see who it was. It was Recruit Agent. And Parkham just turned around and saw that he got shot.
Blue 4 X-ray coming up on the rear of the southern Red 4 force. This could wipe out the southern attack if they play this correct.
Falcon just got on a firefight. Grenades are being thrown back and forth. There's a grenade attack going on to Poe, Dreek, and Wheaton.
Oh, Wheaton got airburst. Falcon got airbursted there. From the other you're supposed to Charlie 1 Blue 4 and Charlie 1 Red 4 just pass each other. Barely. Delta 2 with a perfect firing line going on right now.
A little bit of decent going on. G-Legs just tried to breach a bunker and got taken out.
I think it's all the grenades and the fragmentation being calculated by the server.
Oh my gosh.
But Blue 4 have a 4-man team that are flanking and coming from the rear of the southern Op4 attack.
They're in a great position to take this force out because they haven't been able to push up and over and into the base itself.
Nades are having a huge problem right now. I mean, very slowly.
Ooh, Nuclear Moose gets taken out.
And that is all the X-ray down.
That team, yeah, that Blue 4 X-ray team absolutely decimated.
I think the desync had a little bit to play with that, but
I mean, yeah, possibly.
Look at the grenades and the smokes.
Yeah.
They're lagging back and forth.
I've seen Poe rubber band about 20 meters. That's
I worry about your smoke mod. Because it looks to me like it's smoke is causing beating.
Did it update recently?
The last update to smoke was a good few months ago now.
Don't want to be blaming something that isn't right, you know, but it does. It did seem to coincide.
As long as it's not
with
prairie fire. I understand.
Yeah, that's right. That's the crux.
And all the smoke just disappeared. Yeah, there is something seriously wrong with the smoke because it was in full bloom and then just all disappeared.
Wheaton was using
That
it, and then it all disappeared, and 2 NVA
Yeah.
guys just annihilated. That's just tough luck.
The engine cleans up all the particles when there's too many. They're way over the hard limit right now. Shouldn't
Still
really
a little
cause
bit of
lag.
rubber banding, but it's definitely calmed down in relation to what it was doing a minute ago.
I think it was all the ace fragmentation calculations for the grenades, to be honest. There were so many thrown.
Once an armor server has to start playing catch up, it plays catch up for a long time.
Yeah. But what was that, Egg?
You've got ace on. I didn't realise that. That explains a lot.
Yeah.
That explains a lot.
No, not knocking it. We've got ace there.
I know, just
We'll get on very well.
There are certain
Right.
things you need to make sure you disable when you're running ace with some of these mods.
But you've got a lot of
Ace is an
players.
amazing mod. I
Ooh,
agree.
well, Redfall have won the southwestern attack, and now it's just up to Delta 2 and Charlie 2 to break down their part.
Yeah, no, exactly, veteran.
Terminal 2 team look like they're really holding out well, and
Yeah, but now they've got their rear to deal with Cosmonaut. Cosmonaut's sitting in the little bunker.
I thought his eye was about to come up behind him, but I know his eye is looking because he heard that GL. Here it is. There.
Op 4 have a minigun truck.
Are they going to use it?
I would.
True, I mean, it is a minigun truck.
This is why they should have given it to Don.
Falcon just got another kill to the south. And looks like Op 4 is also starting to push from the north here.
Oh my god, they're not using the minigun truck.
they've also captured the tow launcher.
Oh yeah, they could turn that around and just start slamming it into the
It's very
Some of
useful
those
against
defenders.
mortars.
Still
Yeah,
has 2 rounds.
It will penetrate concrete.
Are they actually tested? So will the tow launcher penetrate the concrete fortifications?
Yeah. I'm fairly certain.
That would actually be quite cool.
Yeah, there's actually a bit like an after-action report of an evaluation of the tow
Oh,
missile.
Saman's being friendly fired
Yeah,
by
by
Cam right
Kamex.
now. Yep, he's
And
he's
the
one
other
of,
guy just got knocked out by Cammy.
and he's one of my guys.
Big smoke push coming in from the west now. So they
Our
are,
dwarf is dead.
Whale just got picked off by, I think that was a Whiplash actually. Whiplash or Poe.
So that was
Oh.
red on red.
Poe just got like another really
That
nice
was on
shot.
Cammy, who already did
Yeah.
red on another guy.
Timek getting involved in a 2v1 and gets them both, Garcia and Montgomery going down, and Timek receiving a bit of red on red.
Well, now there's a massive push here, and all the smoke effects here are working fine.
Oh yeah, give it a second. Yep. They're all disappearing.
This is what happens when you overdo it in the mod. You go over the hard limit on the
Yes.
particle handling, and then it starts behaving.
Ooh,
weird
that
ways.
grenade. Nice high grenade takes out a couple.
Smoke rushes in a co-op are much better in co-op than in PvP. Because it doesn't have to load it for everyone.
Well, they're holding
Shade
it down.
getting knocked out by Anderson.
They're through the wire.
Leclerc and Sablon are the last remainders on this eastern side, apart from Chol, but they're about to be.
Just
That one bunker.
everywhere you look, there is NVA in the wire here.
Oh, Poe just taken out.
Yep, Falcon got him.
This seems to be it for Bluefall.
This bunker right here.
Oh, Bay comes up behind Parkham and just.
Go ahead.
This is just like a real battle in a way. I mean, it's warped and it's working.
Well, you did say they destroyed a couple tanks.
Yeah, they got the tanks, but they still got swarmed.
They had more tanks. I'd like to know about the airs they actually had.
Ooh.
That Molotov, I think, might have been a bad throw.
Yeah,
I
got
think
Kevin
it was.
there.
Yeah, only the MVA have them. Molotovs.
And a satchel charge going off on the perimeter as well.
I want to point out here that the rest of Blue 4 are in a bunker, so now we need Op 4 to get another tank to try to crush it.
And there goes smoke.
Yep.
and a CS gas grenade through the through the door, and then that we're right there in history, seeing it repeating.
Check off all of our boxes.
I'm also noticing people are dying, like Parkham. Parkham got snuck up. Okay, now it's disappeared, but their things is they're like.
Yeah, his is still showing for me. Babe got him.
Look at Sphere and
I know.
Corvo.
This is the final terminal location, the bunker I was talking about.
Look at them all laying down and
Falcon and is trying to poke around with that K50, but that Jeep was that a 1919 or is that a 50 cal? I can't tell.
Real quick, look at the bunker though. You got Corvo in here, you got Zone, you got Space Cowboy, you got Severe, and then if you look behind Corvo, you got another Blue 4 guy.
Oh. Well, he actually gets one.
What's going on?
The desync is strong with this one.
Okay.
He's starting to believe.
What's going on?
Well, see, Red 4 is attacking, so they're throwing grenades into this bunker to try and clear it out. And it's working.
But they're also running in at the same time. Oh my god. Oh my god. Have you look at the guy? There's a guy on top of the boxes.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about for Corvo, the guy next to him. I was like, yes, Blue 4 is defending from every possible angle.
Oh no. He's doing some gymnastics.
I'm seeing all
his legs have went.
The submachine gunners and the PKM gunners. They're all reloading fresh boxes. They're gonna try another assault. Grenade thrown on the corner.
So I can see Severe through the little gap.
Oh, is there actually? Oh yeah, no.
They're trying to hit each other through the gap. Oh, that's adorable.
This is where
the tracers aren't actually coming through.
They can't, but they keep getting scared because they think they are.
Try and shoot through the sandbags.
Patriots trying to breach.
Yeah, Willie Pete, CS gas.
Oh, Severe threw a grenade at the wrong time there and got mowed down by the PKM gunner.
That's it. All was Blue 4 are dead. But there's something wrong with the.
There's still so much shooting and friendly fire.
Yeah, every corner.
These guys are pretty hot, charged up, aren't they? That's what's going on.
Yeah, I think it's all calmed down.
Avenge their brethren.
Well, it is over, but I think the mission's having a few problems at the moment.
Just a few problems.
A little bit of server desync, it's fine.
It'll end the mission.
They better all.
Sadly, that was surprisingly like the real battle.
Yeah. Just a quick update, we are at $3,656.
All right, very nice.
Fantastic.
Excellent.
So a little bit of special. This battle could have come out differently if George the Troll Sternberg had been listened to. He's a solid recon guy and a good friend of Tilt, who's on the team with him. And he actually found the tank tracks in the area and reported it, and was ignored by. Well, in fact, when he went to Saigon for the debrief, they flat out told him he was lying, that he was wrong, and he's lived with that feeling ever since. That, they should have listened to him, and they didn't, and because they didn't, Lang Bay got overrun by the tanks. And he took photographs of the tank tracks with his Car 15 in the track to show scale, and his own hand And then they were saying, "Is that your hand? How do you know that's your hand?" You know, they were trying to question every aspect of the intel.
How do you know that's your hand?
Yeah,
that's one hell of a question.
He was
You know, Rob,
describing.
you mentioned one thing about scale photograph with the Car 15. What I learned was that the folks back in Saigon had no idea the size of a Car 15. And, you know, again, so what we had to do was to figure, okay, what can we put here next to whatever photograph it was that they'll understand? But that's absolutely true. And that came home to roost, you know, through examples like that. So we had to figure something else.
What did you use then? Your own hand or something?
Well, I mean, it had to be a piece of equipment that was common, they'd understand. You know, if you had a weapon that was not unique, like the Car 15 XM177A2, that would work. But that was a challenge because, you know, the experts the photo analysis guys wouldn't know Car 15 from a 50 caliber. So we really had to think about what you put in the photo. It could be a person, you know, and you'd say so high, but that was a realistic challenge.
Size 9
Dude,
boot,
do you have a
maybe?
podcast? I could fucking listen to you all day.
Well, there have been a couple interviews, but
You could put a magazine down. That could probably work because they could get access to an M16 magazine, which is pretty similar to
or an M60 machine gun if it wasn't cut down. So I mean, you just had to realize it, but to me, it was a wake-up call. They had no clue what a Car 15 was.
That's astounding. Because at that point, especially with that situation that you were describing, it's just a matter of listening to your recon.
Well, that's right, and not, you know, again, accepting a photograph. We had our Pen EE, Olympus Pen EE 35 half-frame, you know, cameras, which took excellent pictures, and you'd have to assess what the report is in the photograph, and I'm sure it was done most of the time, except in that example with Tilt's teammate.
In the face of all that information, absolute professional in the job that they have been given, and coming back with photographic evidence to still go, nah, I don't believe that. I believe that some kind of, you know, that kind of bureaucracy happens.
Well, again, I think when you get a very, you know, details technician specialist, you know, who lives his life, you know, analyzing photographs, you know, you've got to make sure that they can understand it so you can tap into their full, you know, potential. You know, it's kind of like people taking pictures of Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster.
All right, I'm going to go play with Whale. So if you guys decide to want to see a boots on the ground to Robin, Ken, you just swap over to my stream and you'll see what it's like on the ground.
Right. Are you going to play the harmonica tonight, or are you saving that for tomorrow?
I'll save that for tomorrow. I've also got ukulele.
Right. I'm going to keep it running here in case when I get up later, but I'll Rob, sign on for the mission tomorrow morning, and this has been a pleasure. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
That's all right.
For being here. It's been a pleasure having you.
Yeah, it's been brilliant having you here for UNA. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers,
and
Ken.
Rob, get some sleep. Cheers.
Yeah, see you on the other side.
Roger.
So the next battle is the Battle of Fire Support Base Ripcord. 1970. A bit further on in the war. 101st Airborne Division. 23-day battle. July 1970. So about a year and a half before I was born. Three Medals of Honor and 6 Distinguished Service Crosses were awarded during this battle.
Lord. Must have been one hell of a battle.
It's in the Ashore Valley. So the Ashore Valley, the reason it's so feared and so hated as a target for recon teams, but also for troops operating on the ground, is it's a valley that runs pretty much from sort of northwest to southeast, and it comes from Laos into South Vietnam, and on the sort of northern end of it really. And the NVA pretty much owned that valley. They had anti-aircraft guns on all the hilltops with foliage cut out in the canopy, so they could shoot out into any helicopters flying along the valley. And they even had radar-guided ZPUs and things like that, which could, and even bigger guns like 37 mils, which could take out planes easily. And so it meant that Americans that were operating Ashore would not have the powerful air support that they relied on elsewhere, because they would just get shot down. So it was a really, really bad place to go. And SOG would occasionally get because they did bright lights, they'd get a mission to go into Ashore Valley. You've got to get this pilot out. We're going to land a 10-man heavy team. They're all taking machine guns and whatever. They didn't take any food, all ammunition. Go in loaded for bear. Got to land on the ground. You've got to fight your way through, find the pilot and the crew, get their bodies or patch them up or find the live guys, and then extract. And that was their mission. I mean, going into the heart of the enemy where they're kicking ass, and you've got to go and snatch from the jaws of the enemy an aircraft or a team that's been downed in there. A really shitty target. Nobody wanted to go in there, but of course they did, because they went in after their friends and after their colleague. So this is in the Ashore Valley. Ripcord's up on one of the hills overlooking the valley. I imagine you guys are using FSB Berchtesgaden, which we put up on the map, because that's the main fire support base we've put into the Ashore in our map. And that was also built by the 101st Airborne, so there's a linkage there between them. And these fire support bases, the reason they're called an FSB and not a forward operating base is because they are basically artillery sites where they would Chinook in a bunch of 105s, howitzers, and they would set them up, and then that would extend the range of their artillery for ground operations. Then they would deliver a load of ground operations into that area, knowing they've got the support from the FSB. And then after the operation, quite often they would abandon the FSB and pull back out again. But in this
Take
case,
anything important.
Yeah, but I think in this case they actually occupied it for quite some time, because they had a whole bunch of operations they wanted to do around the area. So yeah, it's that's what FSBs are for. They're basically where you plant your artillery, and it extends the reach of your artillery and capability. As I say, they needed the artillery because their air support was, under a lot of threat going into this valley because of the radar-guided guns.
What's the range on those 105s?
I think it's about 12 miles or something, but I might be wrong. But I think it is.
So these are things you could place well outside of or well behind the front line in those FSBs and support them without them ever being in danger.
Yeah, they tend to put them on a hill because it's easiest to defend, and it's very easy to defend if you've got gunships in support, because they can just strafe the slopes with flechettes, napalm and everything else. When people are trying to attack you on the hills, it's also an easy way to extract, because you can get helicopters in and out, and also resupply and everything. But primarily, of course, it would be a radio relay station. So the guys down on the ground in the valley, when they get on the radio, because they're deep in a valley, they can't reach anyone. As you'll see with TFAR, in an acre, the hills get in the way. So having a radio relay, you would typically have a special forces team sitting in one of these bases, literally manning radios and handling radios, and picking up commo from the recon teams down in the bush and passing it on, and relaying it back to base, because you couldn't get it through otherwise. A number of different things would be going on in this fire support base.
So real quick, I got a question from my chat regarding what the fire support role entails, and I'm pretty sure that just means the platoon sergeant has direct control over the mortar teams under Blue Force since they have multiple mortar assets.
Yeah, that would make the most sense, but we'll see what once we get into the mission, we'll see.
They had something similar for EU3, and I believe that was the same breakdown though. And that one they also had like batteries and whatnot. Well, no, a battery implies multiple guns, but you know, like full-on field guns and stuff for artillery, and that was quite interesting. I will be back in a minute.
Sure thing. What's interesting is that we do have 3 helicopters. We got a UH-34D Seahorse, an OH-6A How do you pronounce that? Cayusa?
Cayuse?
Cayuse.
I don't know because I'm not a Native American, but I think it's Cayuse.
Probably Cayuse, maybe Cayusa, but
yeah.
Either way, OH-6A and a UH-1D Huey with slick, so I think that's going to be for transporting one of the teams perhaps, but we'll see. Maybe they'll use it to transport the mortar teams to some hilltop position where they can provide support from a relatively safe position. We will have Night Owl leading platoon for Blue 4 and Vagrant on Red 4, so 2 F&F veterans that absolutely know what they're doing, so this should be a good fight.
So in the real battle, CH-47 was shot down on the 18th of July and it crashed into the ammunition storage area, killing 4 people, destroying the helicopter and 6 M102 105 howitzers, and 2,238 rounds of 105mm howitzer ammunition. That must have been one hell of a bang. 2,000 rounds of 105 went off.
Jesus.
Surprisingly, 4 people died.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you ever see the videos from Iraq or Afghanistan where they detonate a cache and you can see the shock wave passing along the sand and just approaching the person holding the camera, and the explosion goes off and 5 seconds later the boom shakes them, and I can imagine the sheer force of that boom with 2,000 rounds of 105 going off.
So it seems to be that the general battle in history here was a lot of 82mm and 60mm mortar coming in from Pavan surrounding the site, and then the Airborne calling in gunships on the mortar tubes, doing their best to try and hold them off. In one attack at 7 in the morning, they received over 80 rounds of 82mm mortar on their hilltop. So that's a pretty deadly barrage.
What I love about that is the fact that they can, they know how in the middle of the battle they're able to take count and go, yeah, that was at least 80 mortars hitting our position, and it's like I would lose count after 10. Yeah. Just from the sheer suppression of the training, discipline.
Yeah, people don't realize, the Special Forces guys as well, the way they were trained, even though this one was 101st, but the way the Special Forces and Rangers were trained was as you're walking through the forest, you're keeping track of the soil type, how soggy the soil is, whether there's been rainfall recently, what sort of dew there is on the leaves, where the nearest water supply is, where there are small clearings you can possibly get out from, and all of this stuff is being noted mentally and then later recorded in notebooks. And then when they come out of the target, so yeah, you might have gone in looking for a telegraph line or a fuel line or a camp or whatever, but you've actually mapped the whole terrain in terms of its tactical base, and then fed that back, and then that's used in planning future operations and missions. So they're very busy guys.
Mm-hmm. So you were right, they are using FSB Berchtesgaden. And they also have a tertiary position for the Arvin guys over to the west. I don't know if Blue 4 and Green 4 know where Pavan are spawning, so they may be they may set up for multiple different approaches, which probably is just a smart thing to do in the long run. But
yeah, our Special Forces camp was actually had an airfield, and it was overrun very early in the war and abandoned by the Americans because it could not be held. It was no tactical advantage to hold it, so they ditched it and went for the heights instead.
I assume that the airfield kind of just went alongside that road, kind of parallel to it.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, there are photos of it, but we didn't have room to put it in, so we just put in the camp, and it's a half demolished camp with a lot of battle wear around, you know, and craters.
I'm sure the same could be said for that airfield then. In that case, where it has potholes and just pock marks from IDF.
So it's actually quite a defendable camp. I've played Mike Force in this camp many times and had, you know, waves of MVA. Even with General, actually, he's played with us in there, and I gave him a M14 and stuck him up in a tower and just popping off MVA left, right, and centre. Really, that was his first go on the scoped M14, and he loved it.
I got a question. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
15s. Yeah, go ahead.
I got a question from chat. They're asking if the village to the south of this AO, Caisson, at 116068, if that's based off of any real village.
So the bridge itself is based on the fictional Dolong Bridge in Apocalypse Now, but don't tell anyone, you know, because. Yeah, but yeah, we can do that. It's just inspired. It's not, you know, it's not the Dolong Bridge or anything. But if you look, you've got the kind of, you know, the boat jetty there, and then you've got the bridge. The idea being, if you come up the Mekong on a PBR with Captain Willard in the back, you know, and they've got guys trying to swim out from here, trying to get on board your boat. You're right where they got off, where Lance dropped the LSD in Apocalypse Now. And then when they passed this bridge, they were into Cambodia, and that's kind of how we've designed this area. It's a desolate place, you know, but we had to give it a name, and so we gave it the name of FSB Kwan Loy, and Kwan Loy is actually where Don was operating out of, and it looks nothing like this because Kwan Loy was actually by a big rubber plantation. We've made it into this thing that's actually like it's out of Apocalypse Now, so it's a completely different sort of, you know, it's where fantasy meets reality.
It's cool.
That's really interesting. Yeah, using that creative inspiration to make a really nice homage.
There's your answer, total guy.
If you go all the way down the river, you'll see I mean, you don't need to do that now because you've got the, you know, the optoplan to go into, but there's actually Charlie's Point on the riverbank, right on the edge of the delta, near Sok Trang, and then that's like where you can do the, you know, the helicopters assaulting the beach in Apocalypse Now. Then you can come up the river, you get to Kwan Loy, that's like the Dolong Bridge. If you keep going up, there's actually an NVA. There's like a Buddhist temple with steps going into the water, but it's right at the very top of the map. So you have to follow the river all the way up. So you could actually do a Apocalypse Now game or mission. And yeah, it's right up the top here. Yeah, there's actually a temple up here with steps that go down into the water, which is like Colonel Kurtz's camp. So somebody just needs to make the mission, and everyone will love it, right? Because you can play your Apocalypse Now fantasy.
Write a note.
Well, something like that, that'd be great for a small group of people, like about 10 or so tops.
Yeah, with the Zeus, it would be really cool.
That's pretty much what I do on Sunday mornings. And honestly, that's one of the things I really can appreciate is the difference between like a very large operation and a very small operation. There are very obviously very many differences, but like it is a completely different experience in the long run. It's nice.
The problem with boats in armor is you're so vulnerable and it's so easy to shoot you off of them. You know, I've played many boat missions in Unsung, and you know, just so easy. Someone just clips you and you're out in the water drowning. So.
Oh yeah. Oh, this is a night mission.
That will help.
Help who?
Sunrise 5:10 a.m. Sunset 18, but we don't get the time. But
I mean, moon
moonfulness
is still pretty high in the sky.
Yeah. All right, Dream isn't here, so I'll read the background. The Battle of Fire Support Base Ripcord, 1970. It was the last major confrontation between United States Ground Forces and the People's Army of Vietnam, PAVN, of the Vietnam War. Area of operations, night assault / defense of 3 objectives. One is an ammo cache in the small FOB, A. Louis, down in the valley, defended by U.S. MACV-SOG. The next is a mortar crate in the FSB Ripcord. What was it? FSB Berchtesgaden? Berchtesgaden, thank you. And the last is to destroy all the howitzers defended by the U.S. Army, I would assume also on the FSB. U.S. forces will have a flashlight with their sidearm. Notes, Green 4 is MAC SOG that will be defending the small town. Will defend a small forward operating base. They will have a box of hand flares and 20 towpopters, as well as an M60 and an M1919 static that they can assemble. Blue 4 needs to be airlifted into the FSB using their helicopters. They will have fire support through the platoon sergeant with options for illumination. Gotcha. So fire support means they can actually call in the fire support module via the RTO to drop illumination. So cooldown 4, 5, and 7 minutes. I think that means he has 3 different choices for illumination, which is pretty cool. Furthermore, they will have 2 mortar crews with a small amount of HE, Willy Pete, and a heap of illumination. See also rules. Interesting. Mission Op 4 can only use their ZPUs on aircraft. That makes sense. Green 4 can only send their X-ray teams out for scouting and hunting the rest of squads. They need to stay within the perimeter of their FOBs otherwise, and the engineers should be setting toe poppers around the FOB. Blue 4 infantry only permitted to stay within FSB ripcords. Basically, SOG can only hold their objective, Blue 4 can only hold their objective. Crates with extra mortar rounds will spawn at Blue 4 main near the helipads at 20 minutes, including safe start, so basically 5 minutes in the game, and 1 box every 10 minutes. So they basically get 2 more HE, 4 more Willy Pete, 12 more illumination, 4 more smoke rounds every 10 minutes after the first 5 minutes of the round elapse. Interesting.
So that's nice. That gives the those transport helicopters something to do and actually have an impact on the mission. So that's nice. I can appreciate that.
Otherwise, game mode, we see the pictures of the 3 destroy objectives, labeled at objectives 1, 2, and 3 respectively. That is very nice to see. Some mission statistics, it's your standard 50-minute round. MAT, looks like we actually have a mix today. Blue 4 and Green 4 are going to be getting the M72 Laws, whereas Op 4 get the B41 RPGs with 3 rounds per person this time. And they also get Strellas, but only 1 round per Strela. All right. I'm going to cover the attacking faction first. That is going to be PAVN with the pith helmets and, again, a bit of a in-between a tan and an olive camo. Loadouts, they're going to be getting SKSs, Type 56 assault rifles, the M49s that they captured from the French, ISH double barrel shotguns, TT-33 sidearms. Their support weapons will either be a K50, excuse me, submachine gun, or the PK, which fires that deadly 7.62 by 54. Their light anti-tank is the B41 RPG, as we already covered, and I assume at least 1 or 2 Strellas are going to be in the mix as well. Recon gets a scoped Mosin, and the 2 suppress gunners get the M45 or the M3A1, their choice, and then aviation crews get the MAT-39, which was, again, captured from the French. Their assets, they get 2 BTR Dishkas. Looks like nothing was changed on their ammo counts because I'm still seeing the 8 mags of 50. ZPU has 8 mags of 4,800 rounds apiece, and they're only allowed to fire at helicopters because I'd imagine they could just park that on a hill and just barrage the FSB and the valley base from up the ridge that they spawn. And they also get 6 transport trucks, which are right below my little roster there. Let's go ahead. Do you want to cover Green 4, Barb?
Sure, I'll take care of Green 4. So those MacV Saw guys are going to be rocking the classic Tiger Stripe camo, some boonies, fatigues, very classic look. Got XM177s, M14s, M1897 trench guns,
Howitzer's just an objective, it's not usable.
those 1911s with flashlights, as they as mentioned in the briefing. So they have a bit of illumination for self-defense. Support has the choice of a M60. Actually, no, probably not the choice, but they do have M63A Commandos and M60 Shorties. Lat is going to be the M72 Law again, with recon using the M40, and the support using the Swedish K M45 submachine gun and the M3A1. Crew is also using an M3A1, which that crew actually, well, they don't have any crew because all the crew is on Blue 4.
Quick question, Egg Beast. Do you remember the caliber that the Stoner fires?
Is it 5.56? Yeah.
So I think it's listed that way in support, because usually for the default FNF rosters, you have both the LMG and the MMG. LMGs for Blue 4 would generally be an M249, so a 5.56 based, and then they'd have the 7.62 240 Bravo listed. So I think that's why it's listed that way, because you have the 5.56 and then you have the 7.62. So smaller caliber, bigger caliber. But anyway, do you want to also do assets, which it doesn't say anything, again, the toe poppers and stuff we mentioned in brief. So,
yeah, Green Force really just got those mines on their specialists to plant around and make a bit of a defensive perimeter.
I think we've already seen Mr. White. Oh, excuse me, Sergeant Miller. I don't know where I got that from. My bad. He is. I glanced over it, and that's what I thought I read. I am tired. I'm sorry, but I think he's already planting.
Anderson.
He's already planting toe poppers on the road. But you want to cover Blue 4 too?
Yeah, I'll take Blue 4 as well. You get some water in you or something, Chief. Blue 4 are gonna be using the kind of basic olive drab GI camo. M1 liner, or are those M1 helmets? Steel helmets with the covers.
Yep.
M1 helmets with Mitchell covers.
Rocking M16s, M14s, those same M1897s and 1911s with flashlights. Support has the M2 carbines, which are just like an M1 carbine with a giggle switch, as well as M60s, the full-length version.
I don't know why.
Same thing with Lat, using the M72 Laws, and Recon actually having the M40 and then the choice of a Sten or an M3A1 for the support team. So, and that Sten, I think, there's a suppressed option for it as well. Yeah. At least it's available in SOG.
For the suppressed shooters, they do run either a suppressed grease gun, a suppressed Swedish 43, or the Sten, but it's dependent on the faction choice.
Yeah, so moving on to the assets for Blue 4, the Cayuse has the grenades that the pilot can drop out the side. The gunner has the M134 minigun with 2,000 rounds to it, and the third seat with the M60D has 10 belts of 200 rounds each, as well as some smoke and frag grenades to drop as well. And then, the pilot actually has access to 4 Willie Pete rockets, 2.75-inch rockets. So that's gonna be interesting to see where they use those, because with 4 rockets, it's limited, but could be very effective if used right.
They also have 24 daylight flares on board, which they can drop at the very easily, and that can really change the battle very quickly.
Yeah, being able to see your enemy is a great advantage. Moving on, the Seahorse, we have same thing with the pilot being able to drop grenades at the side with 24 of those M127 flares as well, and then the gunner just has the M60D and the Animal Mother configuration with 500 round belts and 4 of those in reserve. Finally, the Iroquois Slick has more of those grenades, a couple of M60s, and yeah, it's a Slick, so no pylons. But still, a healthy amount of support going to be able to be called in just from the pilots alone. Between the riot gas and the frag grenades, those things can actually make a difference. They just do a quick pass and drop 6 frags at the side.
So one more thing I do want to point out, according to the asset breakdown, the Seahorse can take 10 additional people on top of its driver, gunner, and turret seat. K-use can't be used as transport. It's just pilot, co-pilot, and the gunner. And then the Iroquois has, you know, the 2 turrets with 11 cargo seats. FFV seats, I actually am unaware of that term. Are those the...
Fire from vehicle.
That's
so
it, yes.
You can raise your weapon and pivot, shoot, throw grenades and stuff.
So it can take about 15 plus maybe 1 or 2 on the turrets or the co-pilot. So they can field about 25, 26 dudes in. But I think they have more than that on the mission, so the choppers are going to have to do multiple runs to bring everyone up to the FSB.
Yeah, your Huey will carry 13 plus 4. In reality, you would carry more than 6 guys in Huey.
Yeah.
You pack that thing like a can of sardines. You can fit a whole squad in there.
Yeah, as Don said, you know, with Indig, because they're a bit, you know, the indigenous troops, they're a bit lighter than the Americans. They could carry 8 guys. So it's right, you know. So when the slicks are coming in to pull you out, they need to know who they're getting. Because if they're getting Indig, then they know they can get 8 on the ship, and only 6 if it's Americans.
Because if you put too many people on it, it's too heavy to lift, right?
Yeah, because with a helicopter you need to get to what's called is it called translational lift or something, or transitional lift, and so typically you have to fly along in a straight line on the deck until you get to translational lift. Somebody will know, where it then allows, suddenly you'll go up. You can't literally land and then hover and just go straight up. Like in these helicopters, they're too heavy and the air's too humid for you to do that in Southeast Asia. So they need to actually go along, which is a big issue if you're coming in to land in an LZ and there's just a big line of trees in front of you, because you can't go out because you've got nowhere to fly. You've got to fly straight. You can't just fly up. You've got to go forwards.
Let's get them a warm.
So that's when the pilots come in. They're usually turning and putting themselves in a position where they've got a bit of a runway in the clearing to be able to take off again. So it's always a bit dicey, you know, when a whole bunch of guys come and pile in your helicopter. You know, how heavy are they? How much ammo have they got in their bags? All that kind of stuff, because it makes a big difference.
Yeah, a very real difference, especially with that kind of early era of helicopters.
And then the gunships, well, they would be loaded in the morning, so much ammo and fuel and everything, and then they'd have the pilot and co-pilot, so the gunner and crew chief would get out and they'd run alongside the aircraft as it went down the runway, trying to build up to transitional lift. And then when you could hear the sound of the engine, you know it was changing transitional lift, and then they'd all jump in quickly and then it would lift up. Because you couldn't just lift up, you'd have to do a long run down a runway. And you hear stories of helicopter pilots that hovered over minefields, you know, a mistake, you know, and they've got to a point where their skids are lower than the barbed wire fence all around the minefield. So
oh Lord!
They're literally going around in a square box trying to build up transitional lifts to get over the barbed wire, so they don't trap their skids in it, pull them down into the minefield. And you know, they're literally throwing things out the aircraft, like all the ammunition, you know, smokes, whatever they've got in there, jerry cans full of water, just ditching it all out, and also just running the engine to try and burn the fuel down to the point where they can just lift up enough to get over the edge of the fence. This stuff happens, you know, it actually happens to people.
Lord. One more question real quick, as we're waiting for the round to get started. What is the difference between a B-41 and a more, I guess, quote-unquote, traditional RPG?
Well, it is a traditional RPG, it's just the Vietnamese name for it. So a B-41 is an RPG-7 and a B-40 is an RPG-2. And the difference obviously is a few years in development between the 2 and the 7. From the Soviets, and they both fired at this time in the war. They both fired heat rounds, and only later did the OG-7 round come in, which was a frag round.
Yep.
So the rounds at this time are both heat rounds, but the NBA widely used them as anti-personnel anyway, and they used to use them for shock and awe tactics to try and smash into the enemy and cause chaos. At the beginning of an attack, they use them a lot against bunkers.
Real quick, we have Illumination Mortars going right on top of the green 4 position from Op 4.
Yeah, they did not waste any time launching off mortars. That first one, yep, those first two are Illumination. I think
for spotting rounds.
Yeah, spotting or ranging, and if that's their ranging shots, that's right on top of them. Green 4 is gonna be going, who's popping those flares above us? Are those friendly? And well, I'm just watching for the tracers with HE on them.
So they're allowed to just put an HE barrage on that camp, are they?
Oh
Pretty
yeah,
much.
Because if they do it right now, it's going to be quite a few casualties. Guys,
they're allowed to, but the whole thing is they only have a few HE. They have a very limited amount. So what they have to make it count. They don't have the armament to barrage the entire area in perpetuity for forever.
I can't see a round count. They don't have that in the mission breakdown, unfortunately.
So they might want to just get eyes on before they engage.
Oh, there's more rounds going on. I'm sure those are the HE. I'm dead sure of it. But we'll see what they do. It's surprising that they're actually not really taking those trucks. They're opting to go on foot the entire way. But they have manned those BTR 40s, which those things, I don't know why. I love those things. They're just armored cars for the modern world. I'm just a sucker for them. No,
another Illumination round.
Yeah, more Illumination. I'm almost a little disappointed.
Well, I hope they don't burn all of it early on.
Because, yeah, there's no point in them doing that now.
I would assume it's them just ranging for HE, which I think they're fine for now, because you got to remember Illumination detonate just before the round continues to go down, and then they fall down without any relation to the wind. So I think the first two were a little over, but they detonated before the arc could be finished. So they fell right into the base. So I think they then underranged them a little bit to try to correct for it, and then they used those two, and now they're underranged for the base. So I think they're just trying to use them to line up the proper shot on the position itself.
And this is a dark night. Like, I turned off my night vision. This is as advanced darkness.
Yeah, the moon. I just saw a full moon in the scene a moment ago on Liru's stream. So I think there's a full moon about to sort of crest
somewhere.
Well, if it's up,
it's southwest.
Ah, yes. Yeah, it's a
Just
full
below
moon,
the
but
hill,
it's
right?
it's below the horizon now, so it's not much help right now, as it is always darkest before the dawn.
Yeah, so I designed those flares. They're basically much brighter than your conventional armor flares. They give you, they're like a daylight flare. They give you a lot of illumination.
So Op 4 seemed to be a little slow, dividing amongst a large northern force and a smaller southern force. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, they're kind of slow because they didn't take the trucks that they were given.
Yeah, they're all going on foot instead.
5, 6 actually perfectly good transport trucks. Some even with nice bamboo coverings to prevent glare from the windshield, but just
I think they were fearing the potential of one of the choppers just heading out and trying to hit the trucks early on in the fight. Which is a possibility, in all honesty.
Yeah, now to be fair, they do have that concern of, if they need to go anywhere, they need to turn on their headlights. If they turn on their headlights, then they would be spotted pretty quickly, especially from the air. If they were to go down this hillside, Green 4 would have a perfect view of them as they went down towards X-Ray's position. So, I mean, I get it, but it's still, like, I feel it's like it's a waste, and they're just burning time that they may not have later in this mission.
Yeah, using any kind of light right now would be a bad move. You mentioned earlier that the Blue 4 have been given flashlights, and if a guy in my squad put a flashlight on, he'd have a boot right up his ass.
Yeah, I saw a couple of flashlights up at the hilltop base, the FSB Berchtesgaden, but that was, I mean, they do not have it on now. It was very quickly snuffed out.
It's what we call a cherry weapon. It's a sign that somebody doesn't know what the fuck they're doing.
It's like when someone walks along the trenches with a lit cigarette, they're asking for a sniper to shoot him in the night.
Showing you pictures of his wife and kid and talking about what he's going to do after the war.
Yeah, what he's going to do after the war. He cycles out in 2 weeks.
Ay, guys. You're right, but it's still pretty grim.
But it's what they do in every war movie. It's a cliche.
Oh, yeah.
You don't put a flashlight on. If somebody's next to you going, how'd you put the flashlight on? You're like, just run away because you don't want to be by this guy. Cherry's going to die before dawn.
The FNG is going to get everyone killed.
You know, when you learn to... I mean, I've been playing on some for, what, 10 years or something, and you never put a flashlight on because the enemy just target you straight away. You basically use the moon. You turn your gamma up if you have to. You use flares.
I was going to say, yeah.
You know, you use everything you can to not give your position where you have to try and use
everything you can except the flashlight. The flashlight is
the flashlight. Yeah, it's a cherry weapon. You just don't take it. If I had one, I'd throw it on the floor.
What I've learned is that I've been playing a lot of Escape from Tarkov, and in that game, yeah, flashlight, like, it's very useful for illumination in dark areas, you know, otherwise you're not gonna see them. But the problem is that they know exactly when you are coming around that corner because of that flashlight. They know exactly what you're doing at all times because of that flashlight.
Yeah, I've seen Tarkov's got some very, very dark rooms and stuff. So without the flashlight, you'd be just stumbling about and you couldn't loot or anything. You know? So I can see it makes sense, but yeah, it's always a risk putting it on.
Yeah, huge risk.
Armor's AI will actually target you when you put a flashlight on. They know. You can see it.
Yeah, I don't doubt that.
Before sending in their last wave of troops now.
I mean, you could use them as a diversion. Send a couple of guys with flashlights somewhere, and get them to put them on and dick around. Everyone looking in that direction.
Yeah, and then you swing it with the actual force from another direction.
Yeah, you can turn everything into a weapon, right? So you have flashlights, why not use them? But use them sensibly.
Oh yeah.
Looks like they're getting set up for a three-pronged attack here. 2 vehicles providing indirect fire or direct fire from the hill, and big assault wave from the north and probing force from the south.
Yeah, I want to find where that ZPU is setting up, because that thing, like we mentioned, set up in a nice little hilltop spot, could rain hell down on those MACV-SOG boys.
Actually in the valley. And you gotta remember, there's a rule that said they're not allowed to use a ZPU on the on infantry, only on aircraft.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that.
But they're
They
keeping
want to protect it though, because I think they've got Igloos, right, or Strelas. Sorry.
Yeah, they got a few Strelas as well.
They need to protect that ZPU with Strelas because it's a sitting duck, a rocket attack.
So Delta 1 for Phoenix has a Strela. Checking Charlie 2. He has an RPG, so there might just be one Strela on the map. Maybe a second.
And now that it's starting to get a little bit brighter in the sky, they should be able to spot that Seahorse flying around behind Red 4's lines.
Yeah, I think there's only one Strela on play. Go ahead.
So realistic tactics for the gunships, you'd have 2 working together, and when one flies in to do its rocket run, the other guy is coming behind it. And as soon as the guy has finished his run and stops firing, the one behind it starts firing, and then they cycle around and cover each other's passes. In this situation, they don't have 2 gunships, right? They don't have any rockets on the helicopters. Or...
the Caisson has 4 Willie Pete rockets.
Yeah, but they don't have a Huey gunship.
No.
So they've got literally 4 Willie P rockets on. Okay, that's not gonna. They're gonna, yeah.
Nape 'em.
They're gonna get minced by those by that ZPU if they go in that valley. Which is
because the Willie Pete actually doesn't affect you if you're in a vehicle. I don't think. At least not with Ace.
Oh, it will. Well, it should do because it's got fire damage in it, and the fire damage should easily eat through the vehicle. I don't know with Ace because I haven't tried it.
We could hope squishy. Usually for these you wanna
Zeusing an operation a couple weeks ago, and I had one of those amongst the players, one of those ZPU BTRs.
his spotlight.
And yeah, they tossed a Willie Pete on it, and I had to simulate being burned alive, but because it didn't do it for me.
Oh man.
Yeah, I think Ace messes with our fire damage particles or something, changing it because of the way Ace medical works or something. I don't know. I'm better to be able to answer that one.
There's so many layers of simulation that they add with their systems that I'm sure there's a few things that get a little bit busted in the process.
Yeah, that sort of thing just needs some reporting because they will fix it in the compact patch that they've got for it.
That is true.
I think Op4 is bypassing the valley position to hit the FSB first and then come from the FSB to the MAC SOG position.
So Red 4 X-Ray over there to the northwest of the MAC v SOG boys, they opened up with just some suppressive fire and caught the attention of them, which MAC v SOG then returned fire back to that northwest position. But other than that, that's really it. So I think, yeah, they're using that as a distraction to move these guys around. Go ahead.
I think the KU's Hotel 2, is it? I think what they're trying to do at the moment is to attract fire to try and pinpoint where the AAA is.
Either that or actually spot where people are moving.
Because they're flying repeatedly over that BTR water.
They're trying to spot with their spotlights there. They got one for the Vic and then one for the M60 gun.
Yeah, they actually just turned it off and ended up flying back. So I think they were trying to spot out any, platoon movements, but nothing's over there.
Yeah, 418, but sometimes the Ace compatibility mods aren't kept up to date, and it's a pain in the ass.
No, not at all.
For example, the Optray official Ace compat mods have been broken for like a month, over a month, which makes Optray with Ace not really viable, unfortunately. Learned that one the hard way a week ago. 2 weeks ago.
The fire damage doesn't affect vehicle crews even, but it can burn the vehicle itself.
I see.
Thank you, Vet. Yeah, he's an Ace dev and also the Prairie Fire dev. Useful to have some from Ace in my team.
Very useful, I'm sure.
Because it's a big mystery box, there's so much in it.
Yeah, I get you, Eric. So I thought Green 4 X-Ray was going to run into the BTR-40 that Op 4 X-Ray was driving, excuse me. It looks like they bypassed each other. Now they might try to line up the BTR to attack the
yeah, that's actually the
SOG position.
The camo Dishcam BTR-40. That's right on top of where Green 4 X-Ray were previously. So that's a healthy little bit of irony.
Christ.
And yeah, definitely starting to get a little bit brighter now. Flare's now going up in the path of that main Red 4 force on that same hill as Berchtesgaden. That BTR from X-Ray for Red 4 should be able to, yeah, that definitely can spot the camp. They might even be able to see some silhouettes, which is all they'll need to light up with that Dishcam.
I'm wondering if that's gonna call in mortar rounds.
Oh, the BTR?
Yeah, because it can spot for those rounds coming in, but I don't see anyone on a mortar at the moment.
Maybe that mortar only had illumination.
Possibly.
If so, then it's a little surprising that they burned them all on the SOG camp, but I guess they knew with with daylight on the way, pop it quick and make them panic, try and really commit to that feint, or at least seem like they're committing to that feint. I want to say I've seen this show before with Red 4 advancing along the hilltop, the same hilltop as the FSB. Different scenario, but same tactic. And well, let's just say if Red 4 don't play this right, then they're selling out a grand old time dropping grenades and rockets.
BTR-40s are delivering enfilading fire onto the SOG position. One is attacking from the west, the other one attacking from the south. But the gunner for the southern one just went down.
Really?
Good return fire.
That's really good shooting.
Rocket just went.
That was,
straight up
I
into
think,
the
for a
air?
flare. Yeah.
Ah, yeah, it was a hand flare, I think.
What we call a shamuli in Britain.
And they actually killed the gunner in that BTR.
So some great long-range shooting there. Now they got air firing down at the illuminated round.
Is it Don on the door gun, or is it somebody else? Is Don on the door gun, I wonder?
Let's see.
CTS Aviator?
That would be, no, Skipper and Banks in that Seahorse. Let's see, where is Don? Don is with Charlie 2. He's got an M60 on him up on the FSB.
Right, okay. He's on the ground.
Now you're seeing that quad 40 firing from range, trying to hit the, I think that's the Caisson.
X-ray for Green 4 about to stumble upon, I think that's one of the vehicles there. Actually, no. Just Olaf there with his SKS. But Olaf is X-ray lead, so if he loses that long range, that's a big giveaway to Green 4.
That BTR, go ahead.
You have to love how this looks at night.
Oh, absolutely. Especially now that the fog is coming in. Yeah, you got all those tracers coming.
So I think Green 4 X-Ray is about to ambush the BTR-40. It's being solo crewed by Extra Large Tiger. And he is spraying the wrong direction.
No idea.
I think he's confused.
I think he is. He might be an extra large tiger, but he has an extra small brain.
Jesus.
Well, he's on his own. He should be doing this on his own.
Yeah, I'm sure he has some kind of marching orders to just direct fire onto the camp, change position, fire on the camp,
right,
and just be a nuisance and, you know, send him on his way. But
and he literally drives right up to Falcon, who sprays him down with the M43.
That's really ironic.
And now X-Ray gets to operate a BTR-40.
Falcon killing a TSB player. Is that a 7-day ban or no, Liru?
Shut up. Got a wise guy over here.
Hey, I'm wise guy. Hey, I'm walking here. I'm casting here.
Oh my god.
Can they not get in it at the moment because there's a wounded guy in the driving seat, the wrong
No,
team?
I think he hopped. Yeah, he hopped out or popped in and out.
Yeah.
I think they're just deciding
so
if they want to take it or not.
if there's a wounded guy in a seat, you can still switch to the seat. It's just when you do, it pulls the body out of the vehicle.
Right.
Yeah, his body got pulled out. You can see the SKS on the ground there, right next to it.
Wonder what they'll do with it. If they're going to keep the vehicle. Or, I mean, I'd be tempted to put one of my dudes in the vehicle and have him drive it back to the camp. Use it as a static defense.
Yeah, only concern at that point would be friendly fire At least once they get away from the enemy positions.
Yeah, you need clear comms for them to
Yeah.
know that that's a friendly vehicle.
You need a clear line of communication. Now they should, the Green 4 X-ray there should have a clear line of communication to the camp there. So they wanted to bring it back, they could, but yeah, they just need to be careful about it.
The helicopters will be lighting it up with their 60s.
Or worse.
Alright, Op 4 starting to set up to have a pincer attack here on the FSB.
Yep, north and south, as well as maybe a third front going to try and be opened by Alpha 3-5, which I think is Charlie.
There's the artillery target there.
I wonder if they're going to use their HE rounds for the water. They've got it.
Ooh, the Huey took a few hits.
Yeah, it's going down.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
She was hugging the ground there.
It dropped altitude to gain speed, but it looked like it took some structural damage and was falling down.
There's the cache right there. So funny enough, you're having the SOG guys firing from an incredible range trying to hit the quad.
That's about all they can
CPU.
fire at right now.
Yeah.
We also have, oh man, who is this? Lolo with a Mosin and a PU 3.5 times scope. Gonna try and channel their inner Vasily Zaitsev.
All right, Southern attack starting on the FSB.
No artillery.
And there's a northern too. And no artillery to soften them up. It's gonna leave a pretty stiff fight here as Hot Wheels and Hells both open up on Red Fort Bravo 2 in the roof of that bunker. So that's a northern assault kind of called out as well. So they're gonna pop smokes and flares and try and advance up into positions where they can stage an assault, but
Blue Force trying to turn their mortars around right now because they're on the northern side.
that one isn't going to go anywhere, I don't think. Those northern guys should have heard that mortar, and hopefully that gets the lead out of their bridges so they can get up there and take that thing out. Yeah, they're just popping more smoke as it all rolls down the hill.
All right, Chewy trying to survive here as multiple PAVN pushes position. He is unable to spot them though, and he is forced to pull back here. Got a lot of PAVN starting to enter the wire here, bypassing a lot of friendly positions.
Ooh, I think that was a grenade that took out Chewy there.
And you got Bayant, who's gotten behind enemy lines. He's trying to pick off the gunners from the artillery piece. Gets a lot of wounded. That body was already there by the active mortar.
Bit of confusion here from
Willie Pete deployed to the north.
Can't even click on him because of the desync. Nuclear Moose actually shooting back into the base. Interesting call there. As a trio of Pavin start mountain goating and climbing up. Seahorse flying overhead should provide some illumination, maybe some grenades as well.
Yeah, with this much going on right now, they should really be looking at maybe dropping some CS gas into the tree line.
Yeah, because that stuff stays around for a long time.
Got a mortar landing towards the north. Looks like it's going to be far though.
Yeah, a couple of them now, landing a bit far, but right idea. That! Oof!
Molotov's being thrown in.
A Molotov or a napalm grenade?
Molotovs.
That's a volley.
Woo!
I had a bonfire with that thing.
Some Willie Pete's landing to the north, but they're a little off target here. As honestly, the PAVN are all over the center of the base, slowly moving around and picking off Blue 4.
No, those are. I'm pretty sure that's the CS.
Oh, they could be. Because it has that slightly yellow tint.
Yeah, the slightly yellow tint, I think, is the CS. The Woolly Pete is more white. Yep. Or that clean white color.
Ooh, I just watched. Can't get a click on him. Leto fell. I think just shot one of his buddies in the back. That was Bayan. That's unfortunate.
Happens in a situation like this. You shoot at things in shapes and movements and rustling. You don't have time to PID.
KU's dropping a bunch of flares off over the base. More mortars going out.
PFC Norris making his way through the trenches on his own.
Go down that hill.
That PK. And man, he is going everywhere.
I think right now is where you want the helicopters with their M60s all giving you support.
Yeah.
Hitting these guys in the open, back. As they come up the slope, they're exposed, they're in the open, got no cover.
Corvo is surrounded right now. Stuck in a smoke grenade as multiple Op4 guys push him.
Dawn is slowly starting to break now.
You have another blue 4 guy right here, Zoni. Doing his best to help Corvo here.
At this point, I think the FSB is lost.
Yeah.
I mean, Red Bull did an amazing job of encircling this position in the night, and well, their timing could have been
goes down.
better. It was evidently good enough to overwhelm and coordinate an assault on these blue 4 positions. I will say I'm surprised that the north lasted longer than the south.
Molotov landing on top of Zoni's bunker there.
Schult now taking out that mortar. It's a quick twofer.
Yep.
So that's that gun silenced. North should be falling here soon. And south just has to be, I think, cleared out. Those trenches on the west side.
Wise knocking Zoni out with the PK.
Ooh, yeah. He's not giving up without a fight.
And you got Whiplash down right here. He's trying to fire at Alpha HQ, who continues running. That's Montgomery.
Agent was down on the ground. He was one of the pilots trying to do something with his 1911, but he gets caught out, eliminated.
So I just realized yeah, I'm looking at him. He is one of the helicopter pilots. We just had another helicopter get shot down, actually. That was Despo and Tymek. So I think it's only the KU sub.
He's looking at these guys. They realized that he was hostile or something.
Took a lot of hits there. Immediately runs in to find 2 PAVN in the bunker he was in.
He was in that not 20 seconds ago.
And the other helicopter just got shot down. So that quad ZPU just took out all the choppers within a very short time span there.
Now, what is interesting to note here is that, you know, if the MACV SOG guys, they, you know, hold their position, they win. Like, the FSB maybe lost. They, 20 minutes or so to hold this spot.
Brutality.
I mean, I'd say it's possible.
Yep, so they gotta get the northern little cache destroyed. It's in one of those little tents. I would say the northwesternmost mini tent, right on the next, right next to the mortars, right next to another mini tent. It's that small little ammo crate. And then you got the Arty gun, which is the southwest. That needs to be blown up.
Now, question. If Red 4 gets to these mortars, are they able to use them on the MACV SOG camp?
That's an interesting question.
Because
they might be able to.
There. They still have HE. They probably still have the mortar crates next to them.
Hey, Dream, who were you that round? You were up for, I thought.
Yeah, I was. Honestly, the push just wasn't great on our side. We were lit up immediately by flares, and I tried to sneak around, and then I just, Eric in my chat's right, the one angle that I didn't check, well, I literally just checked and then looked away to look at a different one. He then popped up and just nailed me.
Oh yeah, that's one of the many problems. Just, you know, the moment you look away, the timing.
I'm going to attempt to get a sniper on next round. Fairly certain Vagrant just 95.
What, are you gonna punish him now?
No, I can't.
Exactly.
Whiplash is the last blue 4 guy alive in the zone. You got Banks alive, but Lolo is shooting at Banks down there. Because he's illuminated from the chopper wreck. So Banks a crewman, except he's head bugged. So he is a prone gunner. Lolo running for his life. Because I believe he's the marksman. Yep, yeah, he's got the scoped Mosin. So, Egg, do you think Whiplash can turn the tide here?
The silence is palpable.
I mean,
I think Egg might have gone AFK.
Quite possibly.
I think Whiplash has got this. All right, he's just playing dead right now. He's got like 30 PAVN he's going to have to fight over here. The PAVN are still a little scattered. They're just throwing grenades around.
He's got that other GI body right there.
Oh,
Yeah.
they just all set fire to themselves.
Amazing.
Honestly, as soon as I got to the edge of that hill and the flares started going up, I just threw some nades and was like, yeah, this is it.
And
he's
Whiplash taken out by Montgomery.
I don't know.
There you go.
Could you call that a caster curse?
I think he was cursed the moment he was put in that situation. He was marked for death.
The only blue 4 guy alive is now Banks, who was in a shot down chopper.
I was trying my hardest to see if I could shoot that down, but I never took the shot.
Well, Banks. Well, for me, he's not in the chopper. Is
No,
he still in the
he-
chopper for you?
No,
No,
he's,
he's out. He's head bugged.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
He was the one who went down in a chopper.
Right. Yeah. Banks is. I mean, he's the most covert of all blue 4 right now.
He's really just on a mission. Let's be honest.
I mean, that's what they tell you in, when you go into the jungle is to keep your head down. So Banks took that really seriously.
He
This
did.
this is a destroy, right?
Yes.
This is search and destroy. Yeah.
Yeah, Bob, you're not wrong. They could just nail that thing with the mortars and
The
'em
objective
all.
or at the SOG camp, yeah.
the bow.
Oh, you're talking about the objective. I'm sorry.
What the fuck? I
If-
left. You were fine in the first round.
If Banks hits a mine, is it still called a toe popper since he's going headfirst into it?
It's a nose popper.
It's a nose. God damn.
Because it was
That's a good
dragging
one.
through the dirt.
So no head.
So no.
So no head.
Oh my God.
I mean, there might be a bit of brain soup in that helmet afterwards, but that's about it.
I mean, he has no
and
choice
you-
but to
and
run
you-
to the
sorry,
SOG
sorry,
position.
and you had a problem with my with the drunk talk about Fred.
But Egg's AFK,
Oh, I hate you.
right?
Huh?
No, I'm here.
Oh. Shoot.
Huh?
What's happening?
Have you been watching
question.
my my view of Banks here? He's doing a great job.
Yeah.
Just coming back.
So
He's slithering away.
No, he's
got
head
animation.
bugged.
He's
Yeah,
head bugged.
head bugged.
This is an
Animation
ace
glitch,
issue.
yep.
Oh,
If you go down an ace and get back up, in regards to vehicles, it can kind of mess things up for the player view.
snake.
So you press one button or two to switch weapon. They both change.
Yeah,
animations.
there is a button that is fix ace head bug.
Right.
Doesn't work,
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
Oh,
It's
okay.
great.
I'm fairly
Southern
certain.
Artie gun has been hit. They're still looking for the northern one, which I think they found. They've got a Private D barn setting up explosives on it now.
Private D's nuts.
Oh my God. I'm just trying to see if Banks is going to actually set up a toe popper and we gets called a nose popper.
Yeah.
Right. So
I
green
have a
4 is
feeling.
still defending, and
Yes.
they're okay. Right.
Yeah, they're okay as long as they hold. If they're able to hold up for the next 17 minutes, I mean, they win for the American side.
I hope Greenfall panic when they see him like.
The security guy just watched him slither through, didn't even like look.
He can move pretty
slithering.
fast. It's like a human snake.
Yeah,
I just don't want to
slithering.
have to carry anti-venom because of people like him. And now you got you got Anderson looking down at him.
Is this Harry Potter? Because he be slithering.
Oh,
All right, can we kick him? He's
Can
not
we
that
kick
bad.
him?
Let's get rid of him.
Can he mount a weapon
Did-
or a vehicle?
did Banks just
Anderson?
cable tie Anderson?
That's a very captivating snake.
No, they're supposed to cable tie Banks to
Yeah,
fix his
no.
animation. Instead, they cable tied
No, so
Anderson.
what happens is he can't. It's for him. He's standing up. He's in perfect normal. Like he's not on the floor for him.
Yeah.
Right.
For everyone else, he is. There we go. He's disappeared. And there's the ace. Oh my god. No, it doesn't work.
Now it's even worse.
He's evolving.
That's kind of better.
No, it's not.
He's evolving.
He's drop-shotting. He's drop-shotting.
But it's in reverse.
As in, he's hacking.
What are they shooting at?
Good question. Next question.
Why are they shooting at?
Yeah, armor animations famously buggy.
Arma
So to be
is
fair-
famously buggy.
To be fair, that isn't armor. That's ace.
Yeah, but I mean, just in armor,
Yeah.
it's so complex. That, I mean, if you look at the types of animations a player can actually do compared to any other game, like hundreds of different animations. Game. Wow, they're blowing all
That-
the charges.
That cash took it. Took it like a champ.
It's still alive.
Now.
Not easy to blow. From
They're gonna do a B41 shot now. They've had enough. They're going with AT. Hopefully he
should
clears his
work.
back blast.
Oh my god, can't watch. I forgot they've got ace. That's the thing.
What's he doing?
He's
I
climbing.
think he's getting far enough away from it. No, he really wants to backblast his friends is the thing.
I think he's calling his life insurance company.
He hit that, right?
He hit
Yeah,
that.
no, he hit that. That was a solid hit.
It refuses to die.
Yeah. They're not easy
Shoot it with
to
a double
kill.
barrel.
It's
Shoot it
crazy
from
not
that
easy to
range.
kill. Did you test these to make sure they're actually destructible grades?
I would
why
hope
would
they
they do
tested
that?
them.
Why would they do that?
Look,
Some
man,
of them- some of
I
them are
ain't staff
not
anymore.
destructible.
I ain't staff anymore.
So,
I can't be blamed for this.
so the project lead just said, "Hey, some of these are invincible."
Hey, Liru.
Yes, Mark.
Audited
Audited missions. Because everyone knows that if a mission gets submitted,
Audited mission
Oh.
for a
Special
event
events,
where we want
yep.
to make sure everything goes well.
Raw round almost hit the BTR 40. It's now pulling back. I mean, that thing's useless right now though, because they aren't allowed to use it against the base.
No, they're not allowed to shoot at infantry full stop.
So
Not
I guess
even
they
if
don't
get
know that
shot
they
at.
shot down all 3 of the helicopters. Then I know they've at least confirmed 2 because they were responsible for 2. I don't know if they shot down the first kill, which was a while ago.
No, the third helicopter to go down was shot down by an Igla.
Okay, they just mag dumped it after another explosion, and it finally destroyed the cache.
I watched the Igla get launched.
Ah, so it might have been the Iggy or the Strela then.
Oh, the Strela killed the Seahawk.
Phoenix has an aircraft kill, so yes, he did get.
And it also killed the Huey, if I'm not wrong. Well, the Huey was already fucked.
Okay, so that means he had an assistant, which makes sense because he has 2 aircraft kills,
Yeah.
and then I saw the ZPU at least slaughter 1, so.
Yeah, so our plan was to, you probably saw it, we weren't allowed to make any noise or anything like that until we got to the foot of the hill. And then Whale was like, okay, and I'm going to smoke charge, and I was like, no. No, I've seen what happens. They will disappear on us.
Russian Fury and Ladofel getting real close on the southern side, southeastern side.
Banks is cheating.
Yeah?
He's
Shut
actually
up.
looking the wrong way.
No, he's just prone, dude. He's just prone in the
He's just
tower.
prone in the tower.
Yeah, it's just, but why is he sleeping? Is he having a little nap?
He's got
that's
his
what I
gun
did.
hidden.
That's why I was late to FNF, so I had a little
Ah. Russian Fury just took a lot of gunshots to the face. Ladofel is going
but
for the
he killed-
RPG.
He killed Anderson.
Ooh. Good thing
More RPGs
Banks
coming
got
in.
out of that tower, because Ladofel's putting RPGs in him.
In him? Ow.
Ooh, and that RPG knocked out
Pronix.
Pronix.
We played this mission before.
This is actually the site for MCO.
Yes.
Number 12?
No, this was a mission.
I think it was
In
13,
FNF.
and yes, but that mission crashed, remember? Just
Oh,
as they did the
yeah.
hill assault. So it's nice to see it bear fruit for this one. Banks' battle buddy in that little bunker just got hit.
Did Banks just kill his friend?
No, they were sprayed down from outside the bunker.
Oh my god, Zombies doesn't know who Banks
He's
is there
peered
'cause
in, but he
he's
can't see him. So I can't hear zombies' gunshots. I see him putting the shots in bodies, but I can't actually hear the gunshots.
Reloading. I think we're having a similar G4. No, he's not even shooting on our end.
Look at
no
click on him.
trailers.
Click on him. Ooh, he's got no gun icon.
Ah. Interesting.
Which
Well,
I
now
don't
The
know.
Cosmonaut takes him out anyway.
I don't know if that's FNF or if that is something that Egg might be interested in.
What's
Some
that?
guns, just the guy. So someone who's just
49.
yeah.
Wasn't
Didn't-
even shooting it. No gun in his slot. Evidently.
Yeah, he didn't. He was shooting, but there was no sound coming up. Over
I think that's just, I know mods
Yeah.
like JSRS, if you load that but it's not server-side load and other people don't load it, then it breaks gun sound for other people.
Okay,
so-
Red 4 I'm just angry.
How many guns that don't make
Do you see
sound?
the 3 SKS dudes that are just staring at that M60 guy?
Jesus
Oh my God.
Christ, Red 4 just slaughtered everyone.
Jeez, yeah. And I was thinking they could hold, but no. Red 4. I think since the MacV Solid guys had no support, and it's still really fucking dark.
And foggy.
Yeah, foggy. Like they had no way of
Ooh.
spotting Pavin as they moved up.
Well, now they just need to find the objective, which I think they have.
And rather
Correct, found it.
quickly, the MacV Solid flag with the bullet holes. the
Thing's
shot
taken
hole,
out in a
the
3-to-1
tires.
firefight. Just a lot of the engagements I was seeing in this compound.
Blue 4 eliminated. They didn't even kill the catch. They just killed all
They
of
haven't
them.
realized that Green 4 hasn't died yet, though, so you see people
Oh,
prematurely
so
firing in the air.
Yeah, they're celebrating, but there's still a couple Green 4s still up.
They completely forgot that Green 4's a faction.
Falcon's just picking them off.
Yeah, because they're all
They're
celebrating. They're going,
Oh
my
They're
God.
busting themselves.
Wait, why is the mission still going,
Why is
guys?
the mission not over? Everyone's like staring at the beast.
You're right, Falcon is just picking
God,
people
Falcon's just-
off from the rear.
And people are just screaming, and there's like, mission's not over.
Mission's not over. What's going on?
Look at the
Nope,
colorful
still
smoke.
shooting in the air.
However, yeah, they are giving themselves pretty good
Falcon,
smoke
get
there,
him.
To be fair. But that's just obfuscating where the explosions and gunshots are coming from. This is amazing. Leave Falcon to become
FNF
king of the
everyone.
idiots.
Now they're shooting at the wrong box.
They're shooting each other.
They destroyed it.
They destroyed a box in the base, but that was the wrong one. That was the objective box for the blue 4 one. Falcon just got taken out by Vagrant, unfortunately. So I think eventually this PAVN crowd will find the right objective to blow
They'll
up.
find the right box to put bullets into.
But as I was saying before, I was that a crazy little thing happened. I was seeing firefights of like 3 or 4 people to 1 that Op4 was doing. It was just brutal. Yep.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Wells jumps into the fire
And
and
so does
burns.
everyone else.
If Falcon was not spotted by Valorant, I think, or Vagrant, excuse me, I think he would have been able to do a lot more damage in there, unfortunately. Oh, man. All
Well
right.
done to Op4. They did a great
Yeah.
job of that.
Great swarm tactics.
Especially that hilltop.
Yeah, especially me.
Shut
How
up,
many kills you
Dream.
get?
Thank you, Kenny.
All right,
You
I'm
don't
gonna
get any.
go
Raid
ahead
me.
and raid Barb. Since I have
Wow.
to be up at 7 a.m. I raided you for the other one. Since I have to be up at 7 a.m. for the 12-hour thing, I know for a fact if I stay up till midnight, I'm not gonna be able to wake up.
It's
So
okay.
I will see
So
all
you're
of
gonna
you
give it
tomorrow.
You're
I'm gonna go
hand the
play.
responsibility
I'm
up
gonna
to
go
the
play.
other person who has to be up at 7 a.m. for the 12-hour op.
Well,
Lamar,
both
you
of
don't
you,
have to be up
all
at
of you
7 a.m.
do,
after
because I
12
believe
p.m.
Eggbeast
But
is
it
also going there
3 in the
too.
morning,
So
yeah, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I
go
was
play.
gonna say it's still the
Mwah,
same
kiss.
time
Mwah,
from
mwah,
now.
mwah, mwah.
You see what I gotta deal with, Egg? Like it is a clown car in here.
right.
To imply that we're
Yeah.
professionals is
Oh, it's great
a
fun.
disservice.
Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Cooperate
Yeah, it's
operationally.
great
We'll be
fun. I
back.
mean,
in
Still here at nearly 4 in the morning.
9 hours or so. So cheers. I won't be Zeus, and I'll be playing on the ground, but have a good one.
You know,
And yes,
Oh,
we'll pay
yeah,
out
yeah.
the prediction.
it's going to take a while to get to sleep after this because the adrenaline's still there just from watching everybody else playing. It's great.
Really, that's great to hear. I'm glad you enjoy watching it so much. I'm sure you have your own, unique perspective, seeing everything that you and your team have made being used, and an actual thing is